Through trials and tribulations, you have prevailed. Your spirit is unbreakable, never derailed. With a rich heritage and culture and grace, Liberia, you are the land we embrace.
You are welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia.
And today is the 14th of April, 2026, and we want to say welcome to you wherever you are. This is a place to be. We discuss the issues here, give our views, and disagree and also agree. We do everything right here, but all we do not do is we do not disrespect folks. We talk about people. When you are in the news, we will talk about you because you are a newsmaker. Other than that, we keep it straight. Let me invite my colleagues from across Europe. Mr. Maurice Yakuba Dolly is well seated in his studio in Manchester. Also, Jimar Kamara in the same location, Manchester, that's the United Kingdom. And Paul the Lord Church is in London, the capital city of England. And I am here in the the Kingdom of Norway. It's not United Kingdom, it's Kingdom of Norway. So tonight we're going to have a wonderful time this beautiful Tuesday evening. Guys, welcome. And starting with Jima from far right on the screen below. Jima, how you doing?
Thank you very much. I'm doing great. Very happy sitting here trying to see how my big interest is the Premier League. Trying to see how it's going to end, and wishing to see what happens. The good news.
I know where you're driving to.
I say my interest is Premier League, and I like to talk about the big things. You know, if you live in the UK, if you don't talk about football, then you have a problem. And I don't think 80% of people live in the UK speak about football. We talk football, we live football, we drink football, and we dream football. So football is a religion in this country. So definitely, and on top of that, I live in one of the biggest cities that hosts big teams. Man United, Man City, and the neighborhood is Liverpool. Got also other Bolton next door and other teams around. So I'd just like to see what happened tonight. I think we will be playing. United will be playing Chelsea just tonight, probably tomorrow. Okay, but whatever the case may be, we will see. I'm just gonna decide to see if Arsenal is going to leave that cup in it anytime soon. But it's a tough group for them anyway.
Well, thank you, Jamal. Thank you. And remember to
good. Okay, Paul.
Yeah, remember to there is a sports in the UK they call the gentleman's sports, and that sports is for the elite. And so remember the word cricket is where it's very popular among the Asians also. So cricket and then rugby. So if you like Garland, like me, who is friend of King Charles, that is the sports we watch it, cricket and watch rugby. Football for those people we call the working class people. So just to let you know, there are two groups of people here. So it's not only football. You got the elite sports, cricket and rugby. Oh, another one, tennis. So football is for what we call the working class. So that's to let you know also. So we follow a lot of sports here. And we invented so many sports in the world. See? Anyway, good to see you guys. It's good to be back here. And the Lord Chilope is happy to be among the living. And it's good to be in Paris now. Welcome, guys. Good to see all of you.
Yeah. Let me just bring something to the memory of.
Okay. And Mr. Dolly.
Yeah, thank you very much, Linko, for recognizing me. Let me just bring something to the attention of Jimmy Kamara here. That just yesterday, Man United were flogged 2-1. I don't know where Man United going. he became a nursing neighbor now in Manchester. So obviously, when we're talking about sport, let's forget about Man United. So we start concentrating on Chelsea and Arsenal. That's all I can say here. Anyway, I'm so glad that I have been allowed to participate in the wonderful talk show. And our aim and objective is to see the truth and say the truth. So we don't sugarcoat anything here. I hope our conversation will resonate to the Liberian people, so they can take it into consideration and act on it. Because the country has suffered long ago. So I hope the Liberian people will have a good thinking to replace the old man tomorrow with good leadership. That's what I can say here. Thank you very much for
Thank you very much, Mr. Dolly. And we want to welcome those of you joining us via Jala TV in Liberia, and also via our Facebook page and YouTube. Please help us to share the show. That's the best you can do for us. It's because of you we are here, and because of us you are there. Tonight's going to be a wonderful night. We're going to discuss a lot of things. We're going to dive into history of this particular day, April 14. Those of you who can do the quick math, we can do it quickly. That was 1979. So, and this is 2026. So we should be talking about some 48 years, if I'm not mistaken. Or 47 years, something like that. But we'll get there. Somebody will do the quick math. That is 2026 subtracted 1979. The difference will come. So we'll be diving into that short piece of history and the rest of it. But we want to welcome you. If you join us the first time on the Bottom Line Liberia discussions, all we want you to do is make a statement in the comment box. You can say, hi, I'm watching from so, my name is this, and we'll welcome you and recognize you. And we invite you to be a part of this program. And our regular viewers will also invite you to help us share the show. Well, guys, we're going to take a very quick break, musical break, very quick, and then we'll come back because our time is fast spent. When we'll come back, then we'll be hitting the nail on the head. So let's do that quickly.
Through trials and tribulations, you have prevailed. The spirit is unbreakable, never derailed. With a rich heritage and culture and grace, Liberia, you are the land we embrace.
You are welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people who us, the people lie to us, the government betray us, so much. I said they lie. The people who us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not go. I said we tired with their lies, we tired with their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with their speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrates us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow the citizens to beat? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you screw us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us, so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt. I said no one to trust. My people no one to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are heroes? Where are the God that they say they go afford? But they too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, then stay they delay. People suffer. No work for people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So, why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the corrupt.
You're watching the review of Liberian newspapers headlines that made news during the week on the Bottom Line Liberia. Please join us every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. Liberian time, 8 p.m. UK time, 9 Central European time.
And indeed, this is the Bottom Line Liberia discussions. Tonight, these great gentlemen are in their respective studios and will be discussing the issues from our various studios, giving our own perspectives. Today is April 14, 2026, and I guess each and every one of us here have heard something about April 14 and April 12 and November 12, respectively, in Liberia. What do you recall from April 14, 1979?
Yeah. Can I come in, please?
Well, I was okay. Yeah, Padore, I think they say age before beauty. So at least you've been around for a while. So tell us, what do you recall from April 14, 1979, and where were you?
I was in Monrovia, residing in Vartan. Those days, I was residing between Gibraltar and Vartan, right behind Renew Garage. There where I was residing. And that was the day many of the important business stores in that city were vandalized and did never come back up to present. One is the Borico. We step in Borico, we take all the best coat that day. There we found a little coat suit, winter coat suit from Borico, right to Vartans. So April 14 was now a good day for Liberia. He bring in serious problem for our country, and those that came with that slogan that the Bekorai can be this among, that among, they were misleading with the Liberian. They misled us and dragged the country into serious calamity. Up to now, the country still struggling from that problem. So, and it was spared by some of our elder brothers and things then like Bako Matthews, Timothy still existing, and Bamo Framo still existing, and all these other people still existing, but many of them have gone. So that's what I can remember. It was not a good
Okay,
day for
thank you very much. And
Yeah.
I don't know whether there will be a second round on this topic. I don't know whether there will be a second round on this topic, but I want us to call it short. So since you have the floor, now let me just ask you your final question. You said that April 14 got the country in a bad state up to now. And it's been, I don't know if any of you did it math, but
47.
I think we're talking about some 40.
Yeah, 47
Some
years.
47 years now. Yeah, so a child born at that time is a grown-up man. In fact, it should be your grandfather. So why is it that you want to blame the calamity, the present situation of advanced people. When I mean advanced people, are people who also lived in that era and they saw all of the mistakes and they have been in government for years, but yet they are governing and things are not right. But you want to blame it also that happened some 47 years ago. Some countries
Yeah,
that even fought war 47 years ago, they are much better. So why you think the situation in Liberia is still the result of April 14, 1979?
the reason why I'm saying this for is he
I don't need to work on your microphone. You got a grinding sound. Sorry about that.
you can hear me?
The microphone has a grinding sound, I think.
Yeah, we hear you, but your microphone had a granny sound.
Oh, really? Okay, you know, I just trying to.
Okay, just go ahead. Go ahead.
I try to work on this computer.
Yeah,
here.
just go ahead.
No, basically, as I said, the reason why I'm blaming April 14 is he introduced something called violence. That was the first time in my history, in my life history, that people begin to move on the street and vandalize places with no impunity. Then people take it as a pressure. When even present at the present time I'm talking to you right now, quite recently on Lofa Road, people were taking the law into their own hand, blocking the entire principal highway. So from April 14, people were introduced with violence. And violence is something that can cause fear, instabilities, and degrade the infrastructure development. That's the reason why I'm blaming April 14 for.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Your view is well copied. Let me go to Paul Enawojima. Paul, you literally lived around the lifeline of government. When I mean lifeline of government, or somewhere, anywhere around the capital bypass, anywhere around the Paso community area, anywhere around maybe the barracks area, anywhere going to Satan and Charlatan. And you lived there, you grew up there, so you saw this incident. What do you recall from there?
Well, Linford, thank you. And I want to say thanks to our audience for following us tonight. Please share the show. I remember I was a little boy at the age of 10, 11 at that time. So it was quite interesting. And what happened on that day, we were kids, we didn't know what was happening. We just followed the people at the time. And so I remember going on King Johnson Road that very day. And if those that can remember back then, King Johnson Road was almost like up. If you're in the West, it's almost like it was the best place that people could go and shopping. It was like town center. So they had this Oreo store that they were selling uniform for school kids, and then they had the Liberian had their own Liberian businesses. Most King Johnson Road had a lot of Liberian businesses, and they had a chicken egg store. It happened that people broke into those places, man. 10, 11-year-old boy just around the place, people carrying, helping themselves with goods. I entered the Oreo store. I myself took my nice pair of Oreo from there and went home with a box of chicken egg. But although there were a lot of, at the time I was on King Johnson Road, the Guinean soldier has come in because Tobo ordered them to come to Liberia to help with the crisis. So it was just chaos all over the place. But being an innocent child, I was just roaming around Monrovia and I got caught up in the situation. I had to run down Jonathan. So yeah, I'm familiar with the crisis, and I know you talk more about that. Yeah, that's what I can remember.
Good. You see, the thing I like about history is that it has different colors, different sizes, and different formats. But I was in 9th grade at the time, and I was on a Teen Town quiz team I was Teen Town quizzer for Paso Teenage. In 1978, we started with Paso Teenage actually registered, and we carried the trophy that year. So 1979 was staying high gear. But the newest kids on the block at the time was G.W. Gibson that just entered at 1979, and they were even hotter. So the competition was actually in the junior high session, was actually between three teams: Harvard Junior High, Varsity Nation, G.W. Gibson. So that very April 14, 1970, was supposed to quiz G.W. was supposed to go head on head with G.W. Gibson. And I also remember that at that time there was this campaign between Chuchu Horton and
Amos Sawyer. Amos Sawyer.
And somebody
Sawyer.
who was supposed to
for the city of mayor, Amos Sawyer.
Yes, they were running for city mayor.
The city of mayor, yeah.
Yeah, city mayor. And
Similar position.
yeah, in those days, the city mayor position was sort of big position that they had extra election for it, you know. So that was heated time in Monrovia. And then the April 14 came that morning. Everybody took onto the streets, and it was the first time, like everybody saying it, first time I saw a demonstration. Okay, yeah, as an African student, I was a young boy, and we knew what they called demonstration, but we didn't know it. You know, we knew the name. It's just like you know the name of heaven, you haven't been there. So that was very, and some people welcomed it. People who were politically inclined, they thought this is the change that they wanted. And then people who knew much more about politics, they thought that this was not feasible. It shouldn't have happened. But the crisis went on, and like everybody else, I lived on the Capitol Papa, right opposite the police station. Anybody who knows Richard Nixon School, I live around there, right on the main road, in fact. Okay, so we were in the center of this thing. I think I made 1 or 2 visits on Ken Johnson Road. The last place I went to was anywhere they used to call Mama Rainier Supermarket, somewhere down there, going down with us. Yeah, it was in that supermarket we were, and the police people enter. It wasn't easy. We had to run us out. So, you know, that was a change. That was a complete change in the political setup of Liberia, and that's when a lot of people got introduced to what we call protest today, and that will lead us to what we're talking about. Protest will lead us to the University of Liberia students today. They were protesting, and their protest was about job and justice. And I still couldn't wrap my head around that protest, the aim of that protest when they say job and justice. Who are they seeking justice for, and who are they seeking the job for themselves? But again, like from 1979, April 14, we got introduced to this thing, right? So everybody can drive it in their own direction to suit their own purpose. And at the time, 1979, our political aspirants felt that the rice price that went up was that thing for the country, and that should not have happened. And they wanted to use that. And in politics, you look for the weakness of your opponent. They wanted to use that to encourage the people to get into the street and demonstrate against the government at the time. So today, the students are fighting for job. And Paul, did you watch the University of Liberia students today, or SUP to be specific, because there are different groups on our campus? So SUP to be specific.
Before I come in, I think Jamal, tell us, was he around during that 1979, or when he heard or he read anything about it? So we can just leave Jamal.
Jamal, I'm picking here, so I forget for him. I know they never picking. Yeah, but Jamal, tell us your experience. Sorry.
Thank you very much. One thing before we talk about their experience, we want to know what really happened. In 1979, most people was 47 years right now. Most people, I was a young guy, I just came from Nimba at the time, going to see my dad in Monrovia. My dad in Monrovia, he was a medical doctor working in one of the hospitals. So it was a holiday time for me. So I got kept into the house until the thing quieted down. But look, let's see what happened. Most people around, maybe watching or don't know what really happened. Got to put it into perspective. In 1979, there was a man called Gabriel Bacchus Matthew leading a group called the People's Alliance Party, Progressive Party, PAL, who came to believe that he was an advocate, believed that the price of rice, which we eat in Liberia, was so high. So he called for reduction in the price. He felt that the price was so high for the people, the common people. So the price of rice should be reduced. And instead of doing that, he called for people on the street. People came on the street and very, very active advocates. Peace to his artists today. He one of those guys that expose Liberian to these demonstrations. He opened our eyes to most things that we didn't know about. And he did a lot of stuff. I mean, people may have him criticized, but one of those advocates that Liberian have a lot of respect for. Until his death, he had a United People's Party. But then what happened? That led to people got on the streets, got into the rest riot, called the rest. It's a popular rest riot in Liberia today. 1979 is concerning Liberia. For April 14, 1979, called the rest riot. Now the question is, what happened? They were talking about inequality. The rice price was, according to him, was to benefit the elite, the high class people, the people at the top ranks who were benefiting, and Liberian could not afford the rice price. So what he did, he called for people, the party supporters, Liberians to get on the street and demonstrate against the price. But that went offhand. It resulted into looting, massive looting around the country, and police were put on the street and killed a lot of people. People, some demonstrators were killed, were victims, they were casualties. And now Mr. Dollar was talking about, I think somebody talking about the Guinean soldiers coming in. My knowledge of that was, when the list secretary heard that, he told Liberian had a hunger issue. So what he did, he asked Talbot, at the time it was President Talbot, he asked President Talbot if Liberian have an issue of food. What he did, he got some cargo planes bringing in yam, cassava and stuff to Liberia.
Cassava.
Cassava, yam coming to Liberia, accompanied by military men to calm the situation. So Talbot told him, no, it's not cool. It was some bunch of politicians here, led by Bacchus Matthew, we encourage people to go on the streets to demonstrate against the price of rice. Because Bacchus' point was the price was so high, Liberians could not afford it. It need to be reduced to the standard of Liberians so they can be able to eat, because like rice is our staple food. So that is a historic thing. Now the question today is, from April 14, 1979 to today, is there any change in our life? I mean, is this the same economic crisis? Is this corruption? This is the story we're looking at right now. We'll come to the story where, as Liberian changed for the 7 years, is there any change in our life for what Bacchus Matthew stood for and many other politicians and Liberians advocates stood for? This is what I'm looking at. That's what makes it so important for me today that we're looking at April 14, and we'll be looking at the SUP, the Student University group in University of Liberia demonstrations, and looking at the government of today and the past government. What have they done to change what Bacchus and others stood for in Liberia? So this is my point. My experience was, I was indoor, I didn't come out, and until everything calmed down. But it's important that most of the people around today did not see what April 14 was about. They don't know what April 14 was about, and it needs to be written in history. Those are dates in our life. They make a political turning point in our life. It may not be a national holiday, but it's a day that Liberians came on the street to demonstrate. First time in history, and they were allowed casualties. And today, did they change anything in Liberia? That's the question.
Yeah,
Very good question.
That's a very salient point you raise, because if you remember the question I asked Padole, how does something that happened 47 years ago still affect a nation today? And yeah, this is an open argument, right? Some people would say yes, it taught people how to demonstrate, it taught people to become violent against their government. And some people will say no, it also taught us for our eyes to be open, because if you look at the kind of events, it got ripple of effect. Remember that right after April 14, 1979, then another thing happened in April 12, 1980. You see it?
Yeah.
And guess what? The interesting thing was both events were on Saturday. So I remember this Daily Observer newspaper caption. I think it was a few years after the two incidents. Daily Observer came up with this newspaper caption, and I think it was several years. And Saturday, the two events also fell on Saturday, and Daily Observer came up with this caption: the Saturdays that made Monroe to stand still. I still remember that caption of the newspaper. Yeah. So
You're right.
you
You're
see,
right. You're right. Because
yeah.
what you just said, just add, just sorry, Linfo, just you know,
Yeah.
the April 14 exposed deep social and economic equality, and also
Yeah.
weakened the present top government, and which led to, you know, when that happened, it exposed the common citizens to see, look, oh, so we can challenge the government, we can do this. Then the soldiers thinking, well, there's a need to change. Now, from April 14, 1979 came April 12, 1980. So that led to the President William Aratobo being coup d'etat because Bacchus Matthew from the People Progressive Alliance led he awakened people in the what's the struggle again? In the name of the people shall continue. Is that the one? In the cause of the
Yeah,
people
in the
shall
name of the
continue.
people, the struggle
In the
continue.
cause of the
In
people.
the cause of the
so
In the
people.
cause of the people. That was the slogan. In the cause of the people, the struggle continue. That was the slogan used everywhere. And that's what awakening call for Liberians. And that was the one, okay, people just say, no, there's a need, there's a change needed. We want the free slaves, according to as those who the American Liberian, the Congos were running the Congo hegemony when Liberia, they want to control it. And they're exposing Liberia to a lot of things. You know, April 14th is big in our history. It led to a lot of things. It exposed us to see there were a lot of inequality, social inequality, economic inequality in the country. And that weakened the president willing to our government and now gave room to the military to come in. In 1980, April 12th came in though. Now that was it. And so whatever history, this is deep. Bacchus Matthew would not go down in it. He stayed in our history as one of the person that opened our eyes. He took the baton, he led the group to tell Liberian people there's social inequality. People may disagree, but trust me, there's a credit to him for a lot of things that we did not see and we've seen it today. But the question I still ask, the fight Bacchus led, has to change. It's an important in our life. So it's big for all Liberians to understand that Bacchus too and many other politicians, not only Bacchus, that have been fighting for the cause of these changes, economic crisis, social inequality, and corruption have not changed. It's a sad story today. April 15th, we're celebrating that in Liberia.
And just to add to that, maybe Paul will ask me as well. It wasn't only Bacchus. In fact, there were two major opposition groups.
Yeah.
Moja, the Movement of Justice in Africa.
By Tubana Tibote.
Yeah, Tubana Tibote. But these two groups, Moja and PAL, they were pressure groups, but they were not together. The same way you had during the Via time, you had how you call them, the Costa group and some other groups, you know, against the Via government. So, and these groups were actually giving, because they were new, the idea of this kind of, you know, opposition was very new in Liberia. As you remember, the True Party was like one party system. Nobody knew, they never had any struggle. There was no opposition to them. I think the latest opposition to them was E.J. Ross somewhere way back. We history I don't really know. I don't want to dive into it, but I heard that there was some struggle with they and Garrison, Derry Gibbs, you know, some other group, some of that group back there. You know, I know read about them. But the actual opposition that the True Party had was these two groups, the Moja and the PAL. And then one of the things that this April 14 led to was that Bacchus then were incarcerated, but the Tower regime right after that April 14 thing, you know, and they were in jail when the coup took place. And so that was a catalyst to the coup, you see. So like Jamal, like you said, that April 14 set the pace for almost everything, even down to the war that we fought, that Liberia fought. That was the setting, you know, like every story has a setting. The movies in Hollywood, they get a setting for it. That was the setting. Paul, you want to come in?
No, let me come in, please, before Paul comes in.
No, let Paul come in.
Pardon, come. Yeah, pardon, come.
Please, people are telling me.
Somebody said Pardon was a no call at the time.
You see, what happened? At that time, I was at the age of 19. You understand what I'm saying? I knew everything that was going on those days. I was in the city. I was a city boy. I am telling you that April 14 opened the door for violence in our country. When we were teenagers, even when we see messenger coming, we run away. Messenger. Come on, messenger. I used to go from door to door in our village asking for.
With the red hat.
No, with the red belt. Yeah, with someone that did black something hanging on the side like it. You understand? When they enter into town, we all will run away. You understand what I'm saying?
No, ruthless.
Yeah, you were very ruthless. So, you know, what happened this year is people were respecting the government to the fullest. People were really law-abiding. Backup Mafia then came with their radicals ideas. And, you know, I do agree that the opening this multi-party democracy system here and there and rest of it. But here is the situation. The king with their radicals ideas, they don't have solution to it. They never have no solution to it. So obviously, because the government that they were rebelling against at that time, causing demonstration here and there, the government introduced something because higher total involvement. You understand what I'm saying? The government opened that to all the citizens to be totally involved in or self independent system, like a full. You know, the president was even making a fine in Bon County. So he decided to open that idea to every Liberian to be involved in the development and whatever in our country. So, but Backup Mafia then came, they say, in fact, the rights that the people are ordering, because the reason why the government, let me make one thing clear here before talking in. The reason why the government raised the rest price a little bit, he wanted for people to go in the soil to make rest for themselves. We should not depend on Osara. And you're also trying to curtail the way the American will control over the rice. You understand what I'm saying? That's what the idea of that government. But these students that were in America, the message from the American to come to Liberia to destabilize that peaceful government. So the king went with this particular race issue that introduced violence to the Liberian people's mind. Even that led to the people taking weapons to jump in the bush to remove the government from power. You know, all this kind of thing. I want all to know this thing. The integrations of our problem today derive from this race riot. That's what I can say.
Okay.
So
thank you, Padre. You know, and I enjoy when you say the people brought the problem, they didn't have solution. Now listen, these people did not take power. They were only pressurizing the government to do the right thing that they felt.
The begin minister. Listen, I'm not going to. The begin minister of information, the begin minister of foreign affairs, the begin minister of agriculture, the begin minister of education, the begin minister of everything.
That was in crisis.
They were the economy minister. What do you want?
Yeah, but they were ministers. They were ministers.
What did he introduce that?
They were ministers under a military coup, a military regime. But let's go to Paul. Let's hear what Paul got to say. Maybe Paul got a different views from what you say.
But Jima asked a question. Have we learned? What have we done? 47 years today. Have anything changed since then? No, nothing have changed. And things are just getting worse. What the Congo say worse than before. So, you know, on a program, I said over and over that democracy is not good for us Africans. And countries that have democracy, they seem to go the other way. Look, I look at China. China 30 years ago, China and Liberia were in the same boat. But because China don't have democracy, it's just one party system. Look at how the Chinese have strived to be where they are today. Look at the USSR before then today is Russia. Look how far they have come. That all sanctions went on there, they became superpower. So, and I will give an example to on 35-year-old young boy who is sitting in Burkina Faso that everyone is talking about. When you have democracy sometimes in Africa where we don't understand what is democracy, you cannot get things in order. For 47 years, that one-party system that they had, remember the one-party system that they had, there were good things with that one-party system because there were a lot of jobs under that one-party system. And for the If people who, the young people today, if you hear about Somalia Drive, what we call Ghana's Way, you have all these factories over there, biscuit factory, iron factory, chicken soup factory, matcha factory. There were jobs with the one-party system. You see, sometimes one-party system is better than having people that will come in, say they get money and they don't know how to lead the country. People vote for them because unpopularity. This is where from that for the 7 years now, this is where we got. But if we had a one-party system, look how far Liberia, it was a one-party system that Singapore went to Liberia to ask for the open door policy. So I think nothing have changed. So why we got rid of the one-party system? That would be my own thinking it. I know you guys will have different views.
Lean for I beg to differ. I think we have a problem with leadership. It's not about the party system. It's not about political ideology. It's about the mindset of the people. There's no structure. You see other places. India has one of the biggest democracy. Other countries in the world they also have democracy as well. They elect the people who they want, and the people are not being imposed upon them. And it's like we don't have the leadership. We don't have local patriotism in Liberia. I think the government need to do what we need to do in schools is to introduce a kind of a course in the country called leadership training, where it has to be looking into it from every angle. They got traits of leadership, they got characteristics of leadership, and you have to learn them at a certain level. And also, you have to have a structure in place. Those are the underlying factors. Some of the underlying factors are causing a problem in Africa, more especially Liberia in particular, where if the system is not put in place, nothing happens. Because if you and myself depend on a brother who is in a job because he's in a job, he feed me, I will sing or praise him because I want to survive. If the structure in place that if I criticize him on the wrong and I still get government support on my feet, if I can't work or I can find a way, I'll still criticize him. We don't have a structure in place in the country. So we have issues in the country. I believe that democracy can work, but we also need to understand that not only that we live to the tenets of democracy, we need to practice it, but we don't practice it. So the issue of one-party system, well, that's another thing. What happened? What will end of the day led to one group? It will be leading to a group of one person running the country at his own will, without the consent of others, which I beg to differ. I'm strongly against. But we also want to listen to others in the country that think that they also their views should be heard. So the issue of leadership is our problem. It's not about the political ideology. It's our problem. We don't have patriotism. We are broke. We're still struggling to survive. So we pick one opportunity to fill our pocket. So if the structure in place and leadership is introduced, we will do better in our country. That's how I see it for Liberia.
And that is good. Linfo once said me chime in. Jamal, if you look at the Chinese, the Russian, they have the thing called the Peer Bureau that everybody, the whole country, from school, everyone, you part of it. They pick the brightest among them to lead. So it's not like so it's that one party system that they have. If you look at this, the Chinese president, he a businessman, but he came through from the youth wing through that system. But so it could be with lack of leadership too, which I agree with you. And the Politburo they have their structure, not one person, so they can change. You see, Gorbachev was there. Before Gorbachev, it was Stalin. They go through that system. The two-way party have similar thing. But just because what the two-way party did is just that they didn't include the additional. That's what made it bad. And that's what suffered.
Do you remember the murder most of our advocates?
That's how I'm saying. That's what make it bad.
They killed most of our advocates. Those who were fighting for equal right, the justice, they killed them. They have them like they were charged with treason. Most of them died out of that because of one party system. So anyway, let's go to the topic. A quite interesting thing, gentlemen. Good day today. We look in the back in history in Liberia, April 14, April 12. It's very, very good for our history to look into.
Yeah. Okay. Let me come in. You see, and I would differ with Paul when he talks about the one-party system. Now, what the examples that you are giving in the former Soviet Union, now Russia and China, those are communist countries. The people are born with a communist ideology. They don't know anything about multi-party system. They know that a Chinese man, if the guy's father was a farmer, he knows that when he's born, the father begin to train him as a farmer, he will be a farmer. That's what he will be until he can decide to be something else. And this system works for them, right? But here is a country, our everything is patterned after a miracle that professes to be democratic nation, and everything about them is about us. But what works for them does not work for us. I mean, common example, in America, you can say, you can give your free opinion on issues. Donald Trump will not come from way in the executive mansion and say, you'll go arrest that man, or I mean, in the White House say, you'll go arrest that man, or your experiment, or a lot of lawmakers are expressing dissatisfaction. In fact, I saw a list of Democrats, over 20 of them, who are pushing for the impeachment of Trump. Okay, now Trump is not going to go and say your expel all these people, but in our country, see what's happening. And I also do not even agree with one-party system and two-party system, which is now working in Liberia, because it is not CDC, it is Unity Party, and people will come and talk all kinds of things. Hey, that means Unity Party and CDC. And those two parties, one is in America, and one feels that, not that we got two-party system in Liberia, we got multi-party system, but the citizens have normalized the two parties. Okay, they have given them the certificate to rule. So that even if the other one is doing dismally bad, and they will say, okay, you're with it until try the other people. When the other people do worse than bad, then they say, okay, you're time you'll come back. You see, I don't agree with that. I believe in everybody having the opportunity to show what they can do. Okay, but again, they make the baseline for everything we're talking, or the bottom line for everything we're talking here is bad leadership, bad governance. So you can have these two parties there for everlasting. They will still govern bad way. And you can have one party system. The two party govern for over 150 years. And what did they do?
No, they had other parties. They had a Republican Party before.
They had other parties, but they silenced them.
They had other parties, yeah. So, yeah, but the thing I'm saying here, the question here is 47 years since the April 14, 1979, 47 years. We have gone through democracy, and we see it just getting battled. So, and you guys, you have your point, but I'm saying, what does democracy good for us? Because we don't even understand it. We copy a system that we don't even understand the system. We don't even understand the system we copy.
Yeah, the reason why we're having all this problem, number one, is we do not understand what democracy is. All we know about democracy is when plenty group of people go, they say we register as political party, then we choose one person from among them. That democracy, no. Democracy should have focus that whether it's party B, when you get there, your focus is to do good for the people. That's what you see, and that's why the Republican and the Democrats in America will always go, because they follow that blueprint of the American policy. When it comes to war, Republican can fight war, Democrats can fight war. When it comes to good government, Republicans will do their best, Democrats will do their best, because they're fighting to get by. You see, but in Liberia, no. And we've done the worst of everything.
So therefore, thank you for validating my point. In America, before they vie for a higher office, those two parties, they always have their primary. They pick the best. In Liberia, we say we copy a system, but people who lead us, they refuse to go to primary, and then they then select the best among them. They're scared to tell the people what they're going to do for them, and that's what I'm saying. Do we really understand democracy?
So who do you blame here? Wait, let me ask you.
We don't understand it. So for the 7 years,
let's switch it.
So for the 7 years, we have not learned anything in the 7 years.
Let's switch the discussion this way. Who do we blame? Are we blaming our leaders, or are we blaming the citizens? Who do we blame here?
Well, that is the question Jamal asked. That the question we're discussing. 47 years.
So,
what have we learned?
I want also give our candidate
the citizen, the government, everyone. The citizen make the government. Just everyone.
Linfo. It's not a matter of blaming anything. For me, it's the issue of Look, the best time Liberia will have been fixed is when Dole came to power. Believe that Tobo did not do anything right. Could came in, things should have changed from the foundation should be laid, structure should be in place. We missed since we missed from that point, from there on, we have an issue right now. So who do we blame? The question is the government, the people.
The people.
Well, we are not pushing the government to live up to it, our expectation. Right. That's one. Second, that's more thing. The government is not doing anything. So today, I just said to you, if Linfa is Minister of Education and Juman want a job,
yeah,
and I know Linfa is not doing right, and I know I can speak against Linfa, and I know Linfa is my good friend, I will not speak against you. I'll go and praising you on the radio. I'll go on the talk show and say something good about Linfa because Linfa will get Juman a job. But if there's a structure in place where Linfa give me a job or not, I can do my little business. I can get a job without you being attached. Fair play. Then I can go out there and speak my mind. But there are a lot of people sitting lip tight because they need to survive. So everybody live for somebody. And that's the problem in Liberia. We cannot say anything because somebody feeding somebody. And that's the system we want to keep in place. So if with that system, this is coming out. With that system, with our system, it's hard to change things. You can't change anything when we have the dependency syndrome. Now, this is the problem we have in life. We've got dependency syndrome. It keeps going. The structure should be in place where a man who is blind should be able to go to school with government support. The man who is physically challenged should be able to go to school, should have benefit to go to work with the support of the government in place. The person who is in the age, in the 65, 67, cannot walk around. Government should put something in place for them. A child who does not have a father or mother, there should be a place for them. We have the opportunity to create the opportunity. We got the chance to create the opportunity for our people. But we don't want to do that because we want to live for me. So definitely I can say what Liver can do. Without Liver cannot get a job. So Liver can talk tomorrow. Liver speak against me. I'll call the minister. Liver, you're releasing of his job. Tomorrow you'll be there crying. Once you have that job, you got nowhere to survive because the government is a major employer.
Yeah, so let me come in. Let me come in, please. I beg. Let me come in. What Jimmy just said is one of the cardinals of our problem. It's one of the big reasons why we're having all this problem in our country. Let me make one thing clear here. Once these two weak parties government were in power, many people were not even focusing on government job. Moment you finish high school, you can remain in high school and still start working. Company were all over. And since the military took over, because of the violence that were introduced to the country, the business people begin to scare away from the country. And I want all to realize that government will not be able to employ everybody. So long government is a major employer, definitely will always have this problem that we're facing right now. We need to have a government that will open door for the business entrepreneur to have company everywhere. You understand what I'm saying? When the government open company everywhere, the employment systems within the government will decline. Then the private sectors will make sure that they have job for people. Then people will be available to be able to explain things with their own free mind, without no fear or favor of anybody, any minister or director. But like what Jimmy said, it's a fact. If you know that if you talk bad about that minister and the minister who is feeling you or who is doing this for you, then you will go hunger. So basically, if we have private sector existing like he was before in two-week party administration time before the military took over, my brother, we are Liberian. You know what happened? When we were small, we saw the Liberian man. Liberian men were not taking mess from anybody because you're big man at that time. He will tell you, to hell with you, what you think so far? You understand? That's what we used to say. When you come with your money, you come with your bisha, then they tell you to hell.
Okay, I ask a question.
You have just, Linfa, before you ask your question, you just validated my point here. You see, Padole lay out simply, with all those factories and things now, one party system, who cares? Because people have jobs. My mother working at biscuit factory. She could afford to buy food and buy uniforms, so she didn't have time. But whereby we advocated that we wanted this change, and the change came, and then we have this group called the fourth estate that's supposed to educate people, that's supposed to challenge the government using the media. The fourth estate is a banking estate. So you see the situation we face with. So if I said that we don't even understand the system we copy, in America, you have CNN that will challenge the president. In Liberia, you have, how to call it, our own OKFN that's scared to even ask the president question because what happened, he may be found in a gutter. So we copy something that we didn't understand. So why now people keep saying today, Tobo was the best? Listen, Tobo was the best from that one party system. So why is it 47 years? We have not changed. So why did we get rid of the one party system when my mom was working biscuit factory, when people were having jobs, they were happy? Why we got rid of it? And we made mess of the whole thing.
So I asked one question, and Jima tried to establish it. The question is, who do we blame? Because you see, everything we're trying to say here, we're trying to push it on the leadership of the country from 47 years up to now. But the question is, who do we blame? Because if, my friend,
I want you to know that leadership became at home.
Hold on, small. Let me make my point. If I walk in the dark, I fall down in the gutter, no light there, I fall down there every day, and I got to pass it every day. I pass it, I fall down, now be complaining. Still, I'll pass it. I can't even look for fire chunk or torchlight to see where I'm falling, but I always go in there and falling. They are complaining. So who do we blame? And I think my father will lay out here. He said we should blame both sides, okay? Because we should blame both sides. Because why? Most of the people in Liberia are illiterate politicians, or they are illiterate to policy. Politics. They don't know anything about politics. All they know is the one president. Once the president comes from their country, their county, or they speak the same tribe, or for some people, they even care who become president. Like in interior, they say, I get time, I'll vote. I just vote for who I want to. Okay? Whether the person told them, and you or Paul, you were just talking about our politicians do not tell us what to do for us, no debate, nothing. So that Paulo, in somewhere way in Bonkonima, he didn't care who will become president, what our president will do for him. When they say vote, by necessity, you will go and vote. Finish with that. What happened? Why it happened after that? So we continue to blame the leadership. Yes, the leadership should be blamed, but who put them there? We, the same people. And again, at some point, you don't blame all the people. Why? Because these people are poor. Imagine that they come and take one John Flomo and carry him and put new t-shirt on him. That guy, he hasn't worn new t-shirt for long. Then the poor father again pack and say, can't go vote for me. Now I'm finished doing a job, he gone. That contract, if he voting, he gone. And the man he put there for a district will be there doing whatever he wants. You see, so this thing is a complex situation. We need to, and I don't think one party system is the solution, because what if you get a bi-party system? Now, look around Africa. Why are people complaining about Mussolini in Uganda? Why were people complaining about Mugabe? Why are people complaining about other countries where you got one group of people leading all the time? That one party system could turn out to be the worst. And because we want one party system, will be under that kind of government for years. And then we
let me clarify this. I gave an example on the Politburo and the Chinese system. It's not one person. It's
but we do not have that system. We do not have the system.
Yeah, so I'm just giving an example here. I'm just giving an example. Within that Politburo, they have democracy. You see, within it, they have democracy. So it's not one person like you get King, the rocket man in North Korea. No, they have their own system where if this person move, another person come. Now, the two-way party had that going. They were one system, but people were satisfied. And the question Jamal asked, that they wanted, people were satisfied with jobs. There were a lot of jobs. Today, people will make comparison to Tobo. Tobo working for that system, say he was more developmental. So now we wanted the system we wanted. We don't understand the system. And Jamal asked a brilliant question.
You see, sometimes people make mistake as well, and it all goes back to the political illiteracy. People make Tobo or the True Party to be like inches compared to now. And I can't blame the people who will do that. It's because of the bad leadership we have had, the successive bad leadership we have had from the coup until now. You think if these people are doing better, nobody think about Tobo then? Now, Tobo days, what group of people were the Congo people? People were changing their name. I became a Melton, okay, because my uncle worked as secretary to Internal Affairs Minister Melton, okay, and that gave us the opportunity to also go to, I went to ETMR, I went to Konola Academy in Kinogani, all these things. So people wanted to, most of the John Harry you see today, they're not John Harry, they are John Yakwa, they are calling Yakwa, but because they have to change their name. You see,
before I said it here, said they did not include. I said, what made it bad for the Liberian one? They didn't include the additional in it. I said it.
Okay, so that was the bad.
So that was the bad. I said it. So
okay, imagine where would have opportunity been? Where would have opportunity been under that one party rule where you got to be John McNeil or John Tissue before you can have good job?
But anything wrong with that when a make you can get what kind of joy you want to get?
But exactly, that's the point I said. There were businesses thriving. There were factories all over the place.
But again, you gotta look at
Wait, wait a minute. You have Firestone, you had Lamco, you have how to call it, Bombas. They have senior management. So there were a lot of jobs. So who cares? And this is the point I'm making. And to Alfonso Taylor, I'm telling you, the Politburo itself has its own internal democracy. You can read it out, and that's how they pick their leaders. You see, they have democracy within their midst. In Liberia, our own, they didn't include our additional people. So that's the fact. But I'm saying democracy for Liberia it's complete nonsense.
What are really so interesting? Well, let me ask a question here. I mean, we'll be wrapping up on this issue.
Let's go. It's quite interesting. It's a good debate, though. It's part of our history. We need to discuss it.
It's really healthy. The question here is, Paul, do you also take into consideration, because your argument about the one-party system, everything was good at that time, but imagine how many people were going to school. Imagine what, because I remember people in my town who did not even wear slipper, but they were satisfied. And not because they wanted to be like that, but that was the condition at the time. If you are not a John Brown, when I wake up, I will to go to Immoral. That man,
Limva, my village started getting school at the town of Tokmo.
Limva,
my village.
Let's look at
Barrett Junior High School at the town of Tokmo.
Let's look at what person.
Most of the boys went to school, they end up making fun. Living with it, so people can convince them about that.
Let's listen to Paul some point. Paul is saying, well, he do understand it. One party system has its own disadvantages. We also the people compared to our people, they should have benefited more than what is happening today. That's his point he's making, which I disagree. But let's look at him for what he said. If you are living with American Liberians or the Congos, you change your name, you go to school. It was beneficial. They gave you that name. Most of our people that live with them, they use it as a housemate, but most of them were educated.
Yes,
most of them went to school. They were educated and they changed their name. And today they will tell you this is my name when I was American, when I was living with this family, and they changed their name, they benefited, they let them go to school and they see the right word. But that's part of their minds were controlled. That's what I have problem with. But now they come to where the question I come back to, when Bacchus came to say the indigenous been suffering, the elite are misusing us. We are not having social justice, economic equality. So he started that with other politicians like the honorable, what is his name? People like Oscar Jaikuya, Oscar Kuya, Oscar Kuya, the honorable Dr. H. Bama family, including Tubana Timote, all these people, the progressives, up to the present PPPLP, People Party, what is the Council of Tiago Gongolo, all these progressives. That was a fight. The question is, why we missed it from 1980 up to today? We have nothing have changed. That's what Paul is standing for. Well, we have nothing has changed so far. We are still fighting. Tomorrow, yesterday, the University of Liberia students were on the street fighting. You and myself be on this platform saying that the government is doing nothing. There's no opposition. We've been saying over and over. So where are we? That's Paul's point. Paul is saying we didn't have no problem. Local people, if you pass from the 70s to 1979, Liberia was the best time. Listen, you will tell me there's a guy called Jeff, what's the guy?
Konaki.
He had a show. Yeah, he used to work for
the BBC, the former BBC correspondent.
Right. He said on one of the show, he said to us, he said those days, Liberia where used to go for holidays. From the 70s up to 79, before the coup, Liberia where people used to go for holidays, the best car you could find, everything was there. In Liberia, everything was there. When he was serving, he was Steve was on the plane.
All those that was
what we're trying to say here today is this.
That was dead.
The people we are making, I don't agree with Paul. You listen to me now. I don't agree with Paul, but you also need to understand his point. The point Paul is saying, we fought for freedom, we fought for equal justice, we fought for social justice. But where is the social justice that people fought for? Where is it? That's a question you must answer. Where is it? Where is that's the question Paul is asking. But the past, from the 70s up to 79, the people, Mr. Dollar said, he wanted the audience among us here today. He will have his school to be a torment time. Toba used to have a canto tour when I was Band Mission. Toba used to go account he got his own native house in every county. Every year he celebrate a birthday in all those counties to bring development.
Every country,
There you go. There are other things they were being wrong. I mean, our minds were controlled, but we're enjoying life. So the question goes back to say, where do we get from 1980 up to now? What have we benefited from?
Let me come in now. Let me
answer the question.
You see, our GDP was better than even England GDP.
Yeah, I'm coming.
During those days.
You see, there are certain things. I'm not. You see, don't place me in the position that I'm just saying that everything about the past government was bad. I mean, the past one party system was bad because at the time, two things we got to reconsider. Consider that was then. We're in a modern age. Every world, every country in the world, every town, every city, every people in the world have evolved. Listen, when I was going to school, I started school at ETMA. From there, went to Colonial Academy. From there, I went back in the interior, and I could speak English. But my friends that was between 1974, 73, 74. When we go to school, we would try to speak English. When we come back from school, they don't speak English anymore. You see it?
But that's the best way.
I was surprised.
That's the best way, my friend.
Yeah. I was surprised
that
November, when my mom died, I went into that everybody, all the kids, they were speaking English. Something that the other boys never used to do because they shy to speak. But everybody speaking English. So the war had evolved. You see what I'm telling you about? So if you take a child from even Chiba, it will take you back to the Tower era or to Tommy era, you see some things that you don't like because things have changed. But at that time, it suited the people. Look at the great America today. I saw some picture of America in 1967 in New Orleans. I couldn't believe that this is America. Okay, it left West Point. But it had changed, and the people who were living there at that time they were comfortable with it.
No.
But if you take those people back to 1967, the president. I'm making a point. Listen, I'm making a point. So what I'm saying is that was the time, and everything that happened at that time is suited the occasion. So, and trust me, even today as we speak, 2026, right? The children will be born in 20 years from now. That will be 2046. They will be asking you, did you guys live that kind of television you're watching? 1970, my father bought our first television, small television, like this, black and white. You got to turn the antenna around 360 degrees before you can get a signal.
But then you're confirming what Paul said now. Then you're going back to what Paul said.
No, what I'm saying, that was then. So
yeah,
if we
you don't even have a
compare,
television across the country up to
yeah,
now.
but if we start asking a question, what have we achieved? We have achieved something. We have come in our era, but still we are not satisfied. And this is human nature.
What achievement? So, what you outlined achievement so far?
Because listen,
no, Mr. Dollar, give the man a chance. Mr. Dollar, please wait.
No, Mr. Dollar, get the man outline. He's speaking.
Outline. Stop that. The question still there. What from 1980 up to present? What have changed from what our people social it was stood for? People like Bacchus or others. Have there any changes coming in our life so far? What is stood for? Is that been achieved? That's the question we ask. Most of them. Is that all? But at least 80%.
We've had one outstanding thing that we have had is multi-party democracy. Where you got every year we can have on some mode. Every election we can have on some mode.
Election. Go on. Yeah, that's fine. One.
Yeah. Two. Everywhere in the country, everybody
is struggling to say something.
No, I'm not struggling. I gotta lay it out.
Okay, go on, boss.
Everywhere in the country, everybody eyes open. You got to kind of Morovia before you use cell phone. And I told you, wait, listen, I told you that the world had evolved.
So what are you talking about? We're talking about changes in the life of our people.
Listen.
But it's not tangible thing you're talking about, brother. Those are abstract things you're talking about. What's tangible thing you're talking about?
Let me bring something to you.
I'm telling you that anywhere in the country, people are going to school, their eyes are open. You get university across the country. You used to have two.
They were not there before. They were not there. University were not there before.
Linford.
Wait. University were not there before Doki the power.
There was no there. TC.
You had two universities. In fact, you had one university and one college.
What about TC? What about the VTC? I mean, those in Vonjema, all the colleges in Vonjema. It was still about 25. It's not there anymore.
Universities everywhere.
But university is not university. Nothing out of it. We're talking about being trained at university. Our university graduates. Why university?
Get somebody to Oxford or Harvard. If you not learn. So it means anyway you learn.
No. Let's be serious here. Let's be serious. We talk about university. Where university everywhere?
What is happening right now? Our country is declining.
No, somebody is helping you. I need you to help. I think you for somebody helping you on the country. You can pick that up. I think that guy giving you help. Freedom of Speech Association. Larger number of people have want to school between.
I'm in the process of laying out, but you guys don't want to agree with me.
Yeah, but you have to use the cell phone. There was a general instead of going to a specific idea.
Every one of you who talk here, if they take you back, and then all of us, if they take you back to torment times, you're not letting somebody think that happen.
Yeah, listen.
We are not saying. Look, I did not agree with one party system. I just told you the question I put to you was this: what have we achieved from 1980 up to now? That's my question.
I told you. I'm not subscribing to people that are talking.
I'm not subscribing to one party system.
The federal country people that they were fighting for, they all have power and they are abused power.
Yeah, listen, Liver, let me refresh your memory on something here, please. I beg. During Togo administration, because talk my time, our little bit teenager, now nothing I know.
Yeah, okay, Togo time, what happened?
Okay, Togo time, so many important things happen in our country. Many of to take the poor from poverty. One is to have somewhere where somebody can able to lay down and sleep. Togo introduced that system. And now Une Monovia, he start doing it even in the counties to open an estate for people. You understand what I'm saying?
Quality education I'm talking about.
But give me a chance now, let me explain. You see, since Joe administration, a new material do even build. New material.
Also, Baby Police
that new material was not for two project. That was Togo project.
That was Togo project. The old material was the one that was built by Togo. The new
So no,
Matari was Toba project. I'm telling
no,
you.
but
because
whatever the
It was
project,
our
at least
project,
do
boy,
implement
you
it.
completed by Do. Our Indo government from start to finish. Listen,
So
Yeah,
but who built the police barracks? Who built the police barracks?
the one that Do started and finished was the police barrack.
On Warren Street. On Warren Street.
Warren Street at the intersection of Ken James Road. That was the one Do started and finished that I know of. But you know what we are saying here, Brother Linford, would you agree everybody want to be independent, everybody want to be equal before the law? I agree. That was not the case in Tokma and Tobo administration. You understand what I'm saying? Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Hey, my brother. There was a sound system. There was a sound system. If you are not a member of the society, you go to the court, you cannot throw that sound, you will not win the case. There was no deal. There was no deal. But the layman, before you even finish with high school, there's a job available for you to do. It's not happening today. Yeah, our children then demonstrating on the street.
You see, and then we'll go back.
All
I keep telling you.
The
number of
Linford,
they have to follow for now. The tomorrow will not end.
Oh, Linford, you cannot say you. Linford, you cannot say you doubt it. And the thing, the records are there.
Yeah, but Paul,
listen now. All of those factors that
the number of educated people. The number. Listen, you have to be a privileged person to come to Monrovia and live there or live.
You don't have to come to Monrovia.
No, it's not true. It's not true. That my dad went to school. He went to school in Harper.
Okay, fine. Harper, right?
No, you don't have to. You don't have to come.
Yeah, thank you. He went to school in Harper, right?
Yeah, he went to school in Harper.
Okay. The child
there was a school in every village in time.
But we lay our point. The child that went to that was born in the same village with your father that did not come to school in Harper, where is he today?
But the village you're talking about is a Harper area. Everybody that came from there were educated. So what are you talking about?
All of them were right.
Listen now, I wanted to say something, but when people move with time, it was during the Toba time, this so-called freedom of speech back then, that's where it started. Because Toba did it in a way that, okay, this guy has just come. And remember, Bacchus came from the elite family also. So they have just come, and it was freedom of speech, giving them the room. When Toba said they'll be from mat to mattress. So when people are moving with time, remember also, Tonma built all the high schools in the 9 counties. If you remember, we're talking about education. The Tonma the Basotine, GW Gasin, Boswan Ha. So if you want to Maryland, you had a Maryland Ha. If you want to Zwedu, they were all of these county high school. What? So they were moving with time. So we cannot say, because the people were marginalized, they were not part of the society, but things were happening. There were a lot of jobs. I said it. So you have the concession area in Nimba, Lamco, in Beaumont, you have how do you call it, the Beaumont Iron Ore, BF Goodrich. There were so many jobs.
Even so Birmingham.
So if you say, well, the jobs are there.
Will you guys listen to one point? Let me just make one point. Let me just make one point. Now, most of the schools that were good in the interior, they were Peace Corps schools. Now, my father went to Peace Corps school, and Peace Corps, I think Peace Corps built a school, even the school that Padre is talking about in his village, because the people were all over the country. Now, that was a project under UC. Now, at that time, the only way that they could encourage a lot of students to go to school was through the Careful program, and that encouraged a lot of students to go to school. But again, another thing is the number of educated people at that time is not equal to how many we have. We have one university in Liberia and Cottington College. Okay, in Liberia, how many people were graduating from there as compared to today, where you get almost hundreds of universities all over the country.
How many?
So this is
Okay, how many Liberia were existing?
So what was the population at the time?
What was the population of the
we're talking around 3 to 4 million people.
No,
let's say 3 million people.
When I left Liberia in 1988, we were 1.5 million people.
Yeah.
Okay, we have 1.5 million.
Okay.
Yeah, fine.
Then
1.5 million. So the number of people who are working that you're talking about, how many of them? How many of them you think? What was the ratio? The educated people, what was the ratio to the educated young people that could get job to the uneducated young people that did not have job, who were making fun or who I don't want to fire to go tap? So what was the ratio? So you got to look at all these things. Today, you guys are.
Can we transition, guys?
You ask a question. My mom was not educated, but she was working at biscuit factory.
Yeah. Can we transition? Can we transition? I think we've dealt with the topic extensively because one thing.
That's what I said from the start.
Yeah.
That
one
the world
thing.
had evolved.
Yeah. One thing. Paul. For one thing, I really like, which I beg to differ with Paul, is the one-party system. Like it was a state control, but this is an exchange of power where you got transfer of power from one group to another. But then that's the beauty of multi-democracy, which I say that we saw in this after 1980. Now there's a change of power, the military is involved, Liberians are going to school, but we all, those are political something, but was it impactful to the people's lives? You would say freedom of speech and stuff are happening, opposition speaking their mind, that's fine. But then up to present, the life of the people, have they improved? That's my question I've been asking. But since we take another day, so can we move, because we got a lot of stuff to discuss tonight. So I will.
Okay, guys, we're going to take a quick break. Well, we're going to take a quick break to transition. But before we do that, let's recognize Mohamed Sese, Mike P, Son Luyi, and Nathan Chair, as well as Junior Corley, and of course, Alfonso Tele, Habib, Rahim, Ahmed, and Mark Farr, and the rest of you whose names we do not see. Just make a comment or put your thumbs up or something like that, and we're going to recognize you. It's because of you we are here, and of course, you may not agree with us, and we may not agree with you as well. That's what makes the show interesting. So we take this quick break, and we'll be back with more international and local news for you.
In a world drowning in noise, where sound bites replace substance, there's a voice cutting through the chaos. Audience with the Lord Chola Play conversation, where Liberians and global citizens tackle the questions we're afraid to ask. Every Sunday at 8 p.m. UK and Liberian time, and 9 p.m. Central European time, Audience with Lord Chola Play. On the Bottom Line, Liberia explores the issues that keep you up at night. Democracy's future in the age of misinformation. Economic systems that serve people, not just profits. Technology reshaping our lives. Reconciliation, development, and the crisis of meaning in modern Liberia. No easy answers, no tribalism, just intellectual courage, genuine curiosity, and the willingness to wrestle with complexity together. This is for Liberians who refuse to shrink their thinking, who believe nuance is wisdom, who are ready to remember how to think, not just what to think. Audience with the Lord Cholo Play Show. Sunday, 8 p.m. Liberian time. Subscribe now. Join the conversation on the Bottom Line Liberia, because the questions that matter most are the ones we're brave enough to ask.
Okay, guys, in fact, I don't even know where to start from again. But Paul, today the University of Liberia students, and these are some of the things. Our eyes open for the 7 years down the road. We know how to stand against our government, whether they're multi-party or one government. You bring toward them back now, you bring toward them back. We stand against them. These are some of the things. Our eyes are open now. Nobody will come. No, time I saw one vote. My grandfather told me to go to the vote. Everybody was like, they pay the tax, right? Everybody going, Tommy, yeah, vote. Tommy, yeah, vote. No other person linking up. Okay, that was bad.
Say one, say all.
Yeah, say, oh. So you see, today we can have multi-party system. We can demonstrate against our government. We can tell them what to do. So far, the University of Liberia students are demonstrating.
Because you're mad, who saying
you see, before I wrote a video, the SUP student today, the university student, were protesting on jobs and other things that and we'll play the video.
Yeah, job and justice.
But then 47 years ago, we fought for that. Yeah, we did. And then it brought a coup. And up to today, and it brought a coup. So let's listen to what the university students say. And then what happened with the police? Police beat people in 1979, April 14. So today again, let's listen to this. And we enjoy the show today. Look, guys, I enjoy the show so bad, and I want Alfonso Taylor to come on this program. Let's play this video.
Spending and development objectives, while our officials are nothing but political and economic puppets, but that the real debate is obscure and substituted by the bankrupt politics of patronage, nepotism, cronyism, and tribalism. Whereas issues of justice and accountability remain central concern, particularly in cases of involving alleged abuses, violation of rights, or incidents where citizens have been subjected to harm without timely and transparent resolution. Whereas the youth and student population constituting a significant proportion of the national demographic continue to face marginalization in policy formulation and decision-making processes, despite being among the most affected by economic and governance challenges. Bad governance. Whereas the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia guarantees the right to sit in the peaceful assembly, protest, and petition, and these rights form the foundation upon democratic engagement and accountability are built. Whereas there is increasing concern regarding attempts to influence, interfere with all these stabilized independent student youth organizations, actions which undermine their autonomy and compromise their roles as legitimate actors in national discourse. Whereas the absence of coherent and effectively implemented policy framework linking education to employment has created a disconnect between academic achievement and economic participation. Whereas Liberia development trajectory requires deliberate efforts toward economic diversification, investment in local industry, and the strengthening of democratic productivity and capacity. Whereas, fellow Liberian progressive journalists, sustainable national progress cannot be achieved without addressing both economic inequality and the demand for justice in holistic and integrated manner. Now, therefore, we the people of the Republic of Liberia, represented by the Revolutionary Airport and Vanguard Education Party, that remain relentless and uncompromising in defending the interests of the people, thereby demand the following to be done effectively immediately. Number one, that the government of the Republic of Liberia, led by Mr. Joseph Yuma Parker and Jeremiah Kuhn, immediately design, publish, and implement a comprehensive, transparent, non-partisan, time-bound strategy for meaningfully employing thousands of Liberians with a monthly salary of at least $500 US. Providing loans to thousands of emerging entrepreneurs and developing the skill of young Liberians. Two, that the sector of the Liberian economy, including mining, logging, agriculture, fisheries, and banks, be immediately nationalized and turned over to the state so that it will facilitate job creation and provide a space for building schools, roads, hospitals, and other critical infrastructure. Three, that the salaries of the president, the vice president, the speaker, the pro tempore, the chief justice, representative, senator, minister, head of SOEs, and every other high-earning public official be immediately and drastically reduced by 50%. And that the salary of civil servants, teachers, doctors, nurses, and the personnel of the armed forces of Liberia, and as well as the Liberian National Police, immediately increased by that same proportion.
No policy statement from the most powerful man in the campus of University of Liberia.
Confirm that the government of Liberia must obey.
I think they made a case, all right. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
And does this speech resonate back 47 years?
I think you're going back to my question though. Now, but the good thing here, gentlemen, what we need to do here what is soup as a people who watching, who are those people? We need to talk the background, give the background information on what are they fighting for, so we can at least take the conversation through. So yeah, the Student Unification Party, a long-standing resistant, but a Universal Liberia student-based group, have been in a protest, the vanguard for speaking for corruption and the poor in the country. They call it SUP, Student Unification Party. It's a Universal Liberia-based student group. Now, today is April 14. I think they're celebrating today from what happened. So if you look at 1979, SUP also played a major role in that particular arrest riot. So they're coming up. Yeah, they did. So now the question comes back. Sorry?
SUP became a conduit for...
Yeah, the conduit for most of the change, because most of the stuff came from the University of Liberia campus and coming down, spiral down to the people on the ground, because they were taking the lead. We know what happened when some students of University of Liberia were arrested by DOE. I think that's a different story altogether. So the question, if we can go ahead, I just want to get the background so we can go ahead and take on your question. So I will speak on later.
Yeah. So the question is, the speech these boys prepared, it almost resembles those that we heard 47 years back, where they spoke in the interest of the people. They talk about jobs. They talk about equality. They talk about salary increase, because they are very crafty. They look at the sensitive issues that are affecting the day-to-day activities of the people and base their argument on that. And one of them is unemployment. One is defeating salary for the military. Can you imagine? That's very sensitive. So the soldier man will go ladder to that and say, "Wait, listen, I sleep in the cold all the time guarding this country, but the minister is making more than me. Okay, and I hardly get what I get." So they calculate these things and make that statement, and that's how they gain the popularity or the support of the public, right? Because not everybody will go and speak. So the man married, I can't speak. She will say, "Yeah, the children said something today. I think they will speak. They were talking for me." So that's why I'm asking, does this speech relate or resemble anything that we heard in the past 47 years ago that led us to what we heard today?
Let me go. Yes. Yeah. I would just want to get SUP, which is a Student Unification Party, is historically linked to a leftist or pan-African or pro-pole activism. That's what we know them for. And they've been confronting government president in the past, and they've been one of the consistent voices in terms
from
of
the 50s, I want to believe.
Most consistent voices of resistance in Liberia. But then the question is, all these rhetorics, what is the results? I mean, what you said, we've heard him from 1980 up to present. SUP comes with one of the well-articulated press release, public statements. But then after this, what is the results? This is the question I will ask. I've been hearing it for years. If you did go to University of Liberia to go attend, you come up with these specific grammars or jargons. You learn to speak out. You become a kind of leftist. You are very outspoken. You're very good. You're good public speaker. But then I do agree that they've been one of the consistent voices of activism in Liberia in terms of very consistent. But what do you do to back up these press statements, these arguments, these presentations? So it's like, so at the end of the day, make those statements. There's what happened. Government is okay, one noisemakers, let it go. We heard these one, but the government don't take them serious anymore, because those days when those guys were at the University of Liberia, when they say something, they follow up. They call the people out the street and make sure the government foundations rock. This is where government fears student groups. But for the present time, what we end up seeing right by the day, we've heard these things, but government don't take them serious anymore because there's no action after this. There's no action after these press statements or the public statements. So this is like where we're giving the press coverage, but when the government says, just leave this guy, they are noisemakers. What happiness? We put two police officers with the gas masks, they all dive, for cover and they go home. Nothing happened. But can it be action? Can it be backed by action so government can know that these guys mean business? So that's the only way change will come. Well, I will keep hearing this for 19, but for the 70 of the present. That's the point.
Yeah, but when you talk about whether it can be backed by action, I don't know what action, because they are doing their part. But state apparatus, state security apparatus will come and use heavy hand on them, violating their Chapter 1 of the Constitution, the right that they have to assemble. They violate it.
Yeah, so, but this is why we're doing it. Why people like that? This is why making a action student group. And Mr. Dollar, I'll give you a point. You see what happened? It's like, I'll give you a point, Mr. Let me finish this part. I'm not saying that they are activists. They are be consistent, resistant group, which we like. I prefer. But then if you take the chance, if you get into the kitchen, you should not be afraid. You should not be afraid of the. You should not be afraid of the smoke. If you want to challenge the government, you should stand for it. Go and tell them, look, there are international communities there. They should get back in that. Students being arrested when people like some I don't know what Blackie and other people, I can't remember the name, Herbert Crispy and other people were arrested years back. There was out there, people out there. You know how everything went around in terms of Liberian reaction. Though was challenged and they were released, they were put on death row. You know the story. So coming down, that's why that shook the foundation of Samuel Doe, because the students spoke. When the students speak, they should know that something going to happen. But you don't speak at the end of the day. That's the story. That's my point. You know, those days when people, when the PPP, PAL used the student group at University of Liberia to move on. Yeah, the majority of people that are on that street were university students. They were speaking against the system, and this is why we know student group to be. They risk their life to make sure things are corrected. So not only making a statement, I do appreciate making a statement, but it's not backed by action. So they should know that when the students speak, the government will say, look, those got me business. Let make some changes, because or else something happen next. That's my point.
Yeah. Okay, Patori.
Yeah, I want to refresh your memory. For me, I believe taking down history. The gentleman who is finance minister right now, he was one of the student activists at the university there. That you and I know, they are the one that mistreating their citizens today. The information minister right now, he was one of the student activists. So many of the people in the present government, they were part of this particular student activist issue at the University of Liberia. But the moment they get them power, they forgot about what they were saying yesterday. That is the problem, Liberia guy. So the only thing that can solve this problem, I always say it, and I continue to say it, and I will always say it, is this. The Liberian government, the Liberian people need to change certain things in the Liberian constitution. Some kind of clause in the constitution. Those that can advocate, when you create any problem for yourself, when you do any foolishness at the time that you're in power, you should be prosecuted. Even when you leave the power, you should be arrested and prosecuted. Because it's in the constitution, whatever the elected leaders and the minister, the presidents and whatever the vice presidents and the senators and things, whatever they do at the time that they are in power, they should not be prosecuted. Which is giving them the leverage to do the wrong thing. But if they know that whatever I'm doing here now, because I'm in power, tomorrow or day after, even today, I can even be arrested and prosecuted, they will behave themselves. So long we have not changed that clause in the constitution, the Liberian will continue to be where they are. So those that are supposed to take that initiative is the citizen of the country. Petition their lawmaker to make sure that to change that clause in the constitution. The citizens need to stand. But you and I, whatever we're advocating for our brothers and sisters in Liberia, is a dead year. Sometimes while we're talking, we even cussing us. You say, we don't know what we're doing. You're sitting there in the court. Come here. If you think you activate, come here and come do it. You know, all these, they are not even feeling for themselves. That's a bigger problem we have, my brother.
Okay, thank you. But and that takes me to the question I asked earlier on: who do we blame, the leaders or the voters, the people who are affected? So because
that's why I said to you, I said, Charity,
pointing you to the same place, the snake leading to that place. He can point you every day, but
at home. Those that are in leadership, there was a poor people yesterday. There was a student yesterday. You understand?
No, listen.
You understand?
Listen to this. Let me make a point. Let me make a point today so people can know. You see, people like Joe Waka, he been in government for 40-something years before he became president. That man was not there for all that time for nothing. He knew something that he wanted or something that he knows how to do. No, let me tell you. Right now, if you take me to be a pilot, I know disassessing the plane. I even know what a copy of the plane looks like. You put me there, I will not do it. But if I've been sitting there by the pilot all the time and I see what the pilot can do, I'll be brave enough to say, they put me here, because I've been here for over 40 years. I know every time all the pilots do the same thing. Yeah? No, I learned to drive only one day at the age of 14. And who taught me to drive? A policeman. Because he was friend to all, and he was a mechanic in the police. Okay, we want to fix the car. After fixing the car, drive. He didn't know that I've been watching my father doing all the time. The only thing I didn't know that before him. So the people in government, they've been there for all those years, right? They know how to get all the small things. So you think Joe Waka was there for nothing? So the point is, the student leaders that were way back in the past, in the 80s, in the 90s, in the 2000s, they are the government officials today. So when you see the University of Liberia students demonstrating, you know what they can say? They hear telephone, they say, oh, Gregory Coleman, go send few guys over there, let them move over. Because they know nothing will happen. Once the police present, they will dismantle them. Because they see it happened to them before. See, so this is what I was talking. Look, listen, we can talk and talk and talk until we change the system, it will still be the same. The system will always be the same unless we can change it. Paul, you want to say something?
And how would that system be changed if you have
bringing a new set of people?
Bringing new set of people. And this is what I said earlier, that democracy is not good for us because the country called Liberia does not understand democracy. New set of people come. If Lifa is very popular but don't have administrative knowledge, but he's popular, they'll put Lifa there. That's the democracy we have in Liberia. And you expect for that system to change? It's not going to happen. And that's the fact. We all know it. If you have proper democracy, where within those, let's give CDC and UP for example. Have you ever heard that those two parties, they don't have a structure? It's just based on one person. Whereby if you say a party, right, a political party is an institution where people can go into that institution, say, I'm into the institution because of the people. If it's for the poor people or for the rich people, like where you have the Democrat and the Republican. If we don't have that structure and we expect that things to change, no. So because we don't have that structure, it's not going to happen. If you have a party, this is where to move forward. This is where we need to have party with institution that will say, look, this is the party of the poor. That means what these children are doing, the students are doing, they're advocating for a job. If they're in an institution, and then within that institution where they can vie for position, because the idea is there, and then they all support that idea. When it comes to government, they can change it. But whereby we have the late Bronsky, his party alone. We have now Musa Bedete, the CMC. It's not an institution. ANC, Mr. Cummings, his idea. But what are they for? Until we have that, before we can change things in Liberia. Where Unity Party, it was just early. When early left, because they said Joseph Barker was vice president for 12 years, it's name recognition, but it's not an institution. So we're not going to go anywhere. And this is the point I kept saying to you, that we don't understand democracy. Why did we get rid of the old system? If up to 47 years we don't do anything, then you think the next 47 years it will still be the same. Now, these students are advocating. Remember Anthony Kessley? He was head of SUP, but he was with Joseph Barker when he was vice president. He in the government. Another one, Kofi Woods, Gaffron, Samuel Twe, all of these people. The thing they fought for when they were at LD, why when they got in government, they couldn't change it. We're not going anywhere. That's the fact. We're not going anywhere. Yeah. So we just hitting our head. Tomorrow, we'll bring another famous basketball player, say, oh.
With all of that, with all of what you have said, Paul, I know you are just lamenting politically, but I will not support one-party system because there's a danger in it. The danger is that one party may not be doing well.
No, we're not going back. We're not going back to that. I'm just saying. You asked a question here. So where do we go from here? I mean, we can call names of people.
Make your suggestion. Why do we go from here? Make your suggestion. What do we do?
Until we have those political parties tend to institution. When they tend to institution, then we start talking. But we don't have that institution. So until we have that, where you find that somebody is challenging Alexander coming in the ANC, you have 2-3 persons challenging. Yet they have that debate. Who best can lead this institution? Until we start having that, we'll get somewhere. But now it's not there. We don't have it.
But do you support democracy, the idea of democracy? I mean, the mere idea, the overall idea.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Because I live in a system here that is quite competitive when it comes to the understanding of
democracy. That's fair. That's a very fair answer. Let's move on to the next one because our time is totally fast spent.
Yeah. So because we talk about the student, there was police brutality also, but let's look at what also that the flyer will put up today. All of these things that happen within 47 years now. After 1979, we had a massive civil war. Bad things happened, right? And then we were promised that, for the country to be healed, we need to have war economic crime code. People were promised, people were happy for that. So today, have they forgotten? This is another topic. Okay. War crime code.
Let me lay a premise.
Yeah, lay the premise.
Yeah, we talk about war economic crimes code. Now, in order for all of these things to happen, you must have a structure in place. And this is why we've been talking about structure, right? Now, here are people who wanted to come to power, and then they needed something to entice the people, to romanticize the voters. Say, oh, listen, because the politicians, they are not honest people. They look at what you want. If you are this guy who is hungry for palm butter, they will say, no, I'll cook palm butter with tabatu for you. And then, all the gribble guys will fall for you from Maryland. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. All of you will fall for. So these politicians, they do this. And they knew that, one of the issues that Liberians have been pressing on victims of the war, as well as people who just lived the war, have been talking about was the war crime scope. The economic crime part, for me, is just a gimmick because these same damn guys that, sorry for my expression, they are the ones stealing. So you don't expect them to tie a rope on their own neck and go to the gallows, right? So more the economic thing from there. But some of them did not take part in the war directly. So at least any rational person would have thought that, okay, yeah, they will do something in that direction. But at the same time, they thought that that's the no way they can get a vote. After getting the vote, the contract is over. They're working already until the next 6 years. So you will be surprised that these same Unity Party people will come back and start pushing the war in economic crimes code again. And then our illiterate voters, I'm not cutting them down, but that's why we are, because we don't know what we're voting for. They'll go again and vote for them on the same thing that they failed to do. So, you know, it baffles my mind that we'll even be sitting here and still be talking about the establishment of a war and economic crimes code when this particular government 3 years ago, because they're in that third year, they set up a commission for the war and economic crimes code. That even what's the guy, the American guy?
Alan
White.
Alan White.
Yeah, White.
Alan White.
Came,
Alan White.
Yeah. He even talked about it. We played that video here several times. So I'm even surprised that up to now we don't hear anything. Whether that commission that was set up, whether they're taking pay, they're not taking pay, we don't know. Okay? And then up to now we're still wondering. So for me, I think if I were the Liberian people, no, the war started in 1990 until now, it's gone some years. Okay? Unfortunately, our people died, but it's gone some years. So the best we can do for me is just put it behind us, you know, because you don't expect anything from these people. They will not do anything. They will use it as a bait to vote, to hold voters. And then after that, when they finish, you put a bait on the hole and put it in 2 river. You see all the booker they can, the one you take it, you finish. No one that ain't get it, they'll go home. So let's just forget it and move with our life. Because then I don't see any sign that a commission was set up by this government, and until now we don't even hear anything. Yeah.
I just can't believe what I'm hearing from Linford. When I argue on this program, I bought my Jack Daniels say when they established that war economic code in Liberia, I would bring my Jack Daniels. What happened? I still got my Jack Daniels. I said it would never happen. You said even it take 100, it did make comparison with the Jewish people that they were hunting them all over the place. And I'm happy to hear it will never happen because what? The criminals control the whole stage, and then you expect them to bring it upon themselves. It's never going to happen. I said it here. You see, and this is the fact.
I can't do nothing. I'm not government, so the best thing I can do is live in peace. All the people, I lost people in the war, so, but they can, they have to die anyway somehow. So the best thing is to let it be instead of worrying about it when I can't do anything.
Yeah, can I say something about this war and economic crime issue here?
Yeah.
From my understanding, like Linford and Punch Lopez just saying that it will be difficult for it to exist. The reason is simple and clear. Number one, the two things that are attached together, war and economic crime code. So long that two words is attached, it will not work.
Thank you.
The economic crime is the committing it every single day.
But pardon, they will separate it too. They will say, okay,
Let me learn. The major actors of in the Liberian crisis, majority of them is nowhere to be around anymore. They are not existing. The real leaders, only 1 or 2 or 3 still existing, but the rest have gone. So the economic crime, they started it since Madam Ellen Johnson's time. The people that recommended the War and Economic Crime Code, the cherry pick in their deliberations, their recommendation, the cherry pick in it. So it's seriously compromised. So for this reason, some major actors, the excusing, you understand what I'm saying? Some major actors new ringing in the Liberian crisis, the excusing They say they reprimand them. They say they confess to the crime, and they were not the judge or jury to make a decision on. They were just there as an investigator to collect the pro and the con and submit their recommendation. But they reprimand some of the actors. So basically, that compromise the War and Economic Crime Code. So for it to happen, I foresee it to happen, but I don't think it will be implemented. That's why I can say in this thing. Mr. Kamara, the floor is open to you.
Mr. Kamara, the country came up with a War and Economic Crime Code. People were excited that was going to happen, and Alan White and the American, I think, secretary for some, this woman went to Liberia twice. They were trying to put, they were trying to put money into it, and people were excited that the Americans were going to fund the whole thing. And then what happened? The president decided to set up a commission that they were going to look at the whole thing, and since then the thing just went quiet. They just killed people's spirit. Would it thing ever happen? The most forgotten economic and war crime code?
Yeah, Paul, let me give you some information here. First and foremost, the two things. Just gone October, the staff of the War Economic Crime Code under Dr. Jala Babu have not been getting paid. The $1.3 million budget for that particular economic crime and war, economic war crime code, whatever you call it. So for 5 months, they have not been paid. They want to receive out of the 1.3 million, I think they are receiving 100,000 so far. And most of those people believed to testify are getting old, are getting sick, are dying. And now, with the international community support, according to my information, there is dwindling fund coming up with the government of America and other EU countries, which have supported the economic war crime code, is putting attention more on Ukraine war. Now, the government is looking up to the international community to support their own case in the backyard. So Dr. Jala Babu and staff have not been paid for 5 months. So if those people working in the area needs are ignored, what do you expect them to do? Now, the justice we're talking about here is not for the past, also for the present. You know, we want to set a precedent here where somebody we saw, if you go to Liberia, you see the past government, people who looted the coffers. We were talking 2-3 days ago, talking about $16 billion Liberian leaving from the port to the vault. The central bank just got missing in the thin air, escorted by the police. $16 billion Liberian, all serial numbers on it registered, escorted by the police from the port when they printed the new banknote, brought into the country. They said they want to put it into the central bank vault. So they got police. They had the police to escort them to the central bank to be put into the bank. You just got from central bank. You know Monrovia. I keep asking you guys. I was not born in Monrovia. I'm a village boy. All you guys that grew up in Monrovia, you tell me from Freeport of Monrovia to Asmore Street, top there next to EJ Raw, opposite EJ Raw. How long it takes from there when $16 billion Liberian just got missing? Nobody know the way.
And not even 7 kilometers.
My man.
Let's let somebody that's $16 billion. I just tell me, you're telling me here. So it just got missing. Nobody get arrested. Nobody been arrested. Nobody's in jail. And nobody's talking about it. Now, then you're telling me about war and economic crime code. So they all make him to power with the premise, which people wanted to hear. Let's pick up people talk Prince Johnson with a big fish. That is not. There are other people that are here that are really committed some crime. They need to face. They have the days in court.
Yeah.
There are people that committed serious crimes. I mean, the people can testify against them. Some people may have done it in self-defense. But people, we are people, we don't know people. You must say don't know people because we were out of the country at the time. I can tell you when their court is established out of on pure transparency, you will see a lot of prevalence, lot of things will be prevailed.
Yeah, a lot of people should come out to talk.
Yeah. On the issue of money and crime against people, just people unjustifiable kill or wanted, those will come out. But then let's go to the government of the day. George Weah did not pursue the case when he arrested Ellen's son and put him in jail. Later got released. That was how you call that one was some kind of well, like just to. It was a kind of
show face,
small screen something. Then later on he got released. Nobody had been arrested. Nobody in jail. Nothing happened. The government kept quiet on $16 billion Liberian dollars. Newly printed bank notes came into the country. Less than 7 kilometers is disappearing in thin air. Nobody's speaking about it. Then you're telling me about work in economic crown court. Now we don't have money. $1.3 million was the budget allocated to this particular office. You got one Dr. Jala Babu, who is the director. He's complaining. 5 months. I'm just giving you some background. People listening now. 5 months they have not been paid. October up to now they'll pay. So they're leaving the office. Nobody's in the office anymore. So the office is quiet. There's nobody in the office. So where would they go? So what would the big news? That's why we said the promise you scheme on your the law the law Cholople show, the ordinary law Cholople. You came with the question. As the rescue has turned to an excuse. So what we doing? He promised he has not delivered. So we are saying the same thing. What's the World Economic Crown Code? Was it after Prince Johnson and other people? So this is why they didn't want to do anything about it anymore. But we need to ask the government.
Yeah. And Jamal, you're right. Because if there's someone trying to find her name, I know Van Shell, I can't remember her name actually, who went to Liberia twice. She was on OKF and said, we have the money, we're waiting to pay. And before Donald Trump came to office, that was then. So if they were serious, they could have taken that opportunity when the money was available to carry out that thing. They refused to do it. And now the group they appointed, they can't even receive money. Then that's not going to happen.
The only country for your, I know the only country that right now in Europe that is really supporting is Sweden. Sweden is really one of the international donors that's willing to give money and to support, but they withdrew. You know, the last time the embassy they took the embassy out of Liberia for some reason we don't know. The consulates in Sweden is being withdrawn out of Liberia. So that country, one of the countries that are really giving Europe that are trying to give support. Europeans are paying more attention to the Ukrainian war than what is happening in Liberia. So when they're dwindling funding for, like when Trump came to power, he also stopped most of the international aids. It also affects a lot of stuff. That could be an issue as well. But then the governments need to come clean and say, look, we want to do the job, we don't have the money. So and the office, the next 5 months, nobody's in the office. When there's somebody go and visit, so with no money, I can't go there. You know, Liberians, you don't get paid. I can't get paid.
I think when it comes to money, I don't think Sierra Leone have bag of money sitting down to entitle. No, it was the international community. Now listen, we all listen to this guy or White. Okay,
Alan White,
yeah. And then Paul just mentioned this Van Schaar woman who have been in Liberia twice. Okay, so you do your homework. Say, no, listen, this is how far I have come. I have set up the office. I have appointed all of the officials, and in fact, even identify the venue for the investigations, right? So all we need now is money. No, Impele, Padolo will testify. Impele, they tell them again, they get something that probably they say the case not finished. They just remain the money business.
Oh yeah, what do you say that, Impele? I want to hear that.
They say the whole case finished when you just remain the money. The man get plenty of trouble when he say the case finished when just the money. So you go do all of your homework. When you finish, go to the international community and say, listen, you have been pushing this thing. Now we are taking it on. We've done this and that. And hear what the people will say. But we'll go gallivanting all over the place, asking for money that we'll put in our pocket. The health sector is down. Education, zero. Military, nothing. that Guinea House will even move in, riding in Kino to occupy our land. You think Edo boy have seen more than power? Well, armed people. You think they'll go get in Kino and can cross and can sit down your land? No. But you see, this is where we are. And I was reading somewhere where they say the mother start training the army late.
The point we got here.
What you just said, Mr. Dollar, let me give some information to link for right now. Look, some back, the Office of the War and Economic Crime Code presented 36 page to the President Barkai, setting up the roadmap, what they want to start, what they want to do. But you cannot do that with funding, Linfo. It has to go with fundings. So that's where the problem it is. So presented 36 page to the President Barkai, where they want to go, where they want to start, the roadmap, where they want to go.
Okay, Tima, good. The committee work. That particular group they work. But how they can't go in, because they can't bypass the government or the president to go to international community. So it is a government now, after they have received that 36 page, what you're talking about, they have something good to present to the people. You and I know how project works. Or do your project proposal and give it to the sponsor. Look for sponsors. Okay, so what is the government? Why and what is the government waiting for? Why is the government dragging its feet? It said that, and that's what, when Pat Jolly was talking, that's what I said. They can separate it. I will know that they are already guilty of the economic factor. They are guilty, in my own opinion, right? But the war and economic and the war crime part, they can say, well, somehow did not take on to go for war. So we are innocent.
Liver, many of these senior government officials are in key player today was part of fashion. Well, during
the investigation, we'll get to know.
That's why I'm telling you.
I want to make this clear. You can continue. From where I say, I have no evidence. So during the investigation, if the war crime code is established, then we'll get to know who was there and who was not there. But from where I sit, I cannot conclude.
Let me give you some information. Let me get you some information. There's a confusion part, Mr. Dollar. There's a political confusion. There was something about what kind of code to set up. I just want to rather I'll tell you. See, rather than moving forward in unity, the process has fractured. At least 3 competing sets of legislation are now in play. In 2021, the Liberian National Bar Association submitted a well-regarded draft law for a hybrid court. That all talk about World Economic Crime Code. Then in late 2025, October, 2 senators introduced bills that will route cases through the domestic courts instead, a model that critics say sidelined the international supported hybrid model essential for prosecuting war crimes. Crime against humanity, forced labor, and recruitment of child soldiers, and sexual slavery. A tail bill was submitted by civil society groups directly to the Senate, bypassing the War Economic Crime Code entirely. So you see that we have issues. Some people don't support setting up the War Economic Crime Code. Some are submitting bills. So you see the confusion. Apart from the money issue, we also in the background there's a fight there. What kind of code to set up? You see the confusion coming up, gentlemen. So those are the things that's holding back this whole case. This
could be solved. In my own opinion, this could be solved. Paul, you're coming. You got 3 bills. Go to the international, because this thing is not a Liberian thing. They say, War and Economic Crime Code, when you convey the people, you're not going to jail them in Liberia. You send it to Den Hague or wherever the RCC is. Okay, I don't know. Except that they want to tell us that if I am convicted of war crime, they'll keep me in Liberian jail. No. Which I have not seen happen to any war crimes or war criminal. You always can send it to the RCC. So you got the various proposals, right? All you have to do is call the international community, which is the major sponsor, and say, look, these are the ideas that people have proposed. Which one you think will work? And there's a model, the Sierra Leone model the Rwanda model, or the Bosnian model,
and South Africa model. Yeah.
Yeah. So the committee, the international community, and the committee that is set up can work around that. Or I don't know. So there's no excuse here. Yeah, continue or whoever wants to speak.
Yeah, I want to say something.
I just want to chime in.
When you finish, then I will come.
You know, Linford, and what Jamal just read, those 3 bills, there will be no war and economic chronicle in Liberia. It will never be. Now, Allen West said something when he appeared on one of the programs that he discussed. Said, look, they had this thing laid out for Liberia, but they only needed a president's signature on that paper to submit it to the Secretary General of the United Nations, requesting the UN to act. So it was there already, but the president and Ali were had a discussion and they were excited that this was going to happen. What happened? In the president's wisdom, he decided to set up a new committee with other bills that have been put forward. Remember too, the one that Jerry Verde and others did, that TRC something, it also recommended too. They have, so all of this information have been there, but because they don't have the willpower to let this happen. That's why it's dragging on. Now, they set up a committee, they're not giving them money. It's deliberate. If the president can afford about $1.2 million bulletproof car, what that money could not go to that people? Yeah, just think on it. The willpower is not there. They're not willing to do it. For some reason known to them, they're not willing to do it. And every year, every minute, every second, we age adding up, we're getting sick, we're dying. They do it deliberately that would not do this until they just die quietly. That's the intent. They're not willing to do it.
That natural death.
Give your talk quickly so we can begin to wrap up.
Yeah,
we need one more topic to discuss of Linford.
Yeah. We get one more. That so we can begin to wrap up the next one.
Yeah. You see, to be honest, in any given situation, you should look at the realities of the issue. So that is the thing that will motivate the Liberian government to establish this war chronicle and to make sure that it be implemented is not there. For matter of fact, that every man at the age of 55 to 70 years in Liberia today, 90% of it were part or parcels of this particular Liberian crisis. Those that were in Liberia, and I'm talking about those that were outside of the country. And from any administration to present administration, many insignificant things that have took place will form part of the war and economic chronicle investigation. And these are the actors that right now existing in the country. So they will not, like what Linford said, someone will not put a rope on your own neck to go in a chamber room to be hanged up. That is the case of the Liberian government. Who knew that we are not going to establish this? No, because the whole while that was a campaign. They demonstrated, they do everything on the street. War and economic chronicle, make them popular until they take over. When he will push on the wall to act, what did he say? People got video. He said, wait now, why you're pushing me on the wall? You go to the lawmaker then. Let them do whatever they're supposed to do and send it to me. So, for this reason, the Liberian situation is a problem. The problem of the Liberia is that the Liberian themselves. War and economic chronicle, I don't say you will not come, but I've not seen it. happening. That's what I can say. So if we can start talking about different topics, I think it would be better.
Yeah.
Right.
Chiba or Paul, is there anything new that we can talk about?
Yes, it's something new that we need to talk about. It's the country called America, the great country that we copy from.
For the case of Dr. Tubanya.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, let's do the
Yes.
local thing for it. Let's deal with Dubai now, then for now go to America.
It's just a
Kema.
short story. Yes. The
It's
story
there.
says Dr. Christopher Dubanya, where he got his job back, the crisis of non-compliance. So the question is, this is a topic, if you watch now, you know, the he was a is it director or president of the NPHL,
Enfield.
NPHL. That is the was he the chair, right? The person in charge.
Yeah, National Health.
He was the officer of the National Public Health in Liberia or something like that.
Institute
of Liberia. He said so he was dismissed. We don't know what was the reason. Government dismissed him, and he went to court. He took his case to court.
He was occupied I call it tenure position at that part there.
Yeah, tenure position, which is like when you are put in there by the government, you should accept on certain grounds. That has to be certain reasons you'll be dismissed. Or if that's not proven, you can't be dismissed. So the Dr. Nya was dismissed, and he took his case to the highest court in Liberia, which is the Supreme Court. And Supreme Court reached a decision that the Dr. Nya should be reinstated. And up to present, that's a tenure position in Liberia. Tenure position in Liberia is, I think, it depends on the year. I think 5 years.
5 years.
Most of them are 5 years, and it was instituted by this present government. It was on Ellen that brought that tenure position leadership kind of structure in Liberia. So he was the director of the National Public Health Institute of Liberia, and he's a world-renowned Liberian. What do you call it? He's a scientist in terms of medical some other area. But also one of the former political students of Liberia as well, University of Liberia, a very well-known one. And this man was dismissed, and the Supreme Court, the highest court in Liberia, said President Joseph Boakai should allow this man back to his job. Up to the president has ignored the Supreme Court decision. And now, my question now is, when this happen, is the Supreme Court should bring the president to court for contempt or whatever, what they always call contempt of court or whatever, or should the other branch, which is the legislature, should call the president to action? To president, Mr. President, you've been asked to reinstate the young man. What, John? Tell me the procedure. What is the procedure now? Many other tenure positions have been turned down. The president is not listening. Nobody's talking about it, and Dubois is suffering in the back. He's been fighting his case. He won the court. He won his case. Why he's not being given his position? So this is why we say the president is not living up to the promises he made. The rule of law. That's the rule of law. The Supreme Court, 3 branches of government: justice, judiciary, legislature, and the executive. The other one said, which is the highest arbiter of the land, of justice of the land, is the Supreme Court saying, "You're not right, Mr. President. You're not right to sack this young man. Give him back his job." And the president just ignored the Supreme Court. So what happened, gentlemen? You tell me. Explain that your own things. I don't understand it. So we want this.
Jema, it's very interesting. The lawmakers are the ones that have the right to call the executive for questioning. They have the right. Now, the lawmakers, they don't know their function in Liberia. And this is the problem that we have. So the man had his issue, he took it to the Supreme Court for redress, and Supreme Court saw logic, said, yeah, but you're not in the wrong, go back to your job.
Yeah.
So it's the lawmakers that have the power to make the executive to implement the work. So the other branch done this work, one of the branches refused, so the other branch have the right to call that branch and say, come in, Why you have not given this guy his job? So this is the Liberian. That's so it comes back to what I've been telling your people, that we don't know what we copy something from somewhere. We don't understand what we copy, and you're expecting to work in Liberia. Hallelujah! This is the point we make. I've been making all the.
Hallelujah, amen. Listen,
that's it.
Paul,
Mr. Don, let me tell you what the Supreme Court told the president on the 16th of February, 2026. They handed that decision. They said, Mr. President, that the removal of the executive director branch under President Joseph Boakai was unconstitutional in violation of the statutory due process protection. So the president was wrong to dismiss this man.
Yeah.
And if the Supreme Court decisions can be honored, what are we doing, gentlemen? And nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about Dr. the world-renowned Liberian medical scientist.
Let me just say something, Mr. Kamara. I don't know why you come with this topic to waste our time here. Because here's the problem. This is the government. When they were running for the office, for the higher office, they emphasized on every nonsense thing that the past administration did, removing some leaders unlawfully, witch hunting people, refusing to listen to international court justice system, like the ECOWAS court decision here and there. Even one of the veterans of John Weah administration who went to ECOWAS court, and the ECOWAS court demanded the administration to repayment or to pay the man off and this and that. The promise this man here is one of my friends. You know, Justice Janet. The promising, they're seeing government that in power now. Promise the man, say when we get there, we'll make sure that we'll implement the instruction from the ECOWAS court. That man went to Lova and campaign for Unity Party. For Unity Party to get into power. United Party get into power up to present. They're not even talking about him. Before talking about paying the man what he entitled to, or even doing anything on that. So send them. They have been violating so many. They remove the sitting speaker. The president take the sitting speaker and say, because he knew when he stay in Liberia, the coup d'etat that the people are planning, he will know it, so he will be able to defeat it. He said, my man, you my son-in-law. Because the man married to one Gizi woman as well. So he said, let's go to Vatican, go meet the Pope. Two of them, while they were there, the people were soliciting the signature to remove the man. More people talk about it. The Supreme Court you're talking about, Mr. Kamara, the Supreme Court said to the president, whatever was going on in the House of Representatives was not correct. It was wrong. It was unconstitutional and blah, blah, blah. What the president said? The president said he will work with the quorum. The quorum is what? The rebel group that were in the House of Representatives trying to remove that man. So this is the government you are talking about. Do you expect this government to do anything in terms of rule of law? No. So don't come here with this topic here to waste our time. Let the doctor go back to America to start looking for a job. I think that's the best way. If you have
Thank you. I got a different opinion. Listen.
Yeah, you got different opinion.
Chisholm Walker will be the president right now, but we're talking about government. So government is continuity. And I'll go back to Yeke Koluba's case. Yeke Koluba has several cases where the government denied to pay his money and blah, blah, blah. And that case went to the Supreme Court. Yeke had to get his money, and I think he got his money. So no matter how Dupanya's case is delayed, whether the next government or this government, they will still pay him. And in fact, it's advantageous for him that he's not working and they delay, the years are adding, the days are adding, the months are adding. He will get money. Let me tell you, as long as it is a Supreme Court's decision, the Supreme Court will never go back on its word. The Supreme Court, whatever ruling they do, stands as what record in the law book that people make reference to. So why now will get him money, no matter how long.
Okay.
Granted, this is another conversation you're bringing out. He will get the money. Why is not reinstated?
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking. Whether they reinstate you or not.
He has not. He has not been reinstated.
They should follow the procedure. The bank.
Yeah, but okay, that's what. Okay, if they reinstate him, then there's no more case.
No, when you reinstate him, the process is there. Like
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If they reinstate him, whether if they are reinstated him in February, as per the Supreme Court's ruling, there will be no case with the government. But now that he's not reinstated yet, and he's sitting there and the time going, and he should be reinstated, it means he's working. So the government will have to pay him. That's the point I'm trying to make.
No.
They will not pay him. You know what happened? You know what happened to Kamina Jenner?
But just say anything, Jenner. You know what?
The government that he brought the power, men that were going to get him money, all the men who gave him a position back.
Okay, let me ask. So what if Kabina China takes his case back to the Supreme Court? You think they will not pay him?
It was not even Supreme Court.
No, they went to Equals Court that higher than the Supreme Court.
And they didn't pay him a dime. So what happened was the decision of the Supreme Court, even one of the CR commando on the board even considered it was unlawful. The contractual tenure agreement is a contract process. It should be respected. The president breached the law constitutionally. That's the first thing. And I don't know whether he can be punished for that. And the first thing should also know.
I see why they arrest. Go on. I see why the arrest agenda cannot progress, because rule of law is one of the errors in the arrest agenda. So if you are blatantly breaking the law, it means that. But again, we come back to this thing with the photos. All the things we're talking, let me tell you, two things can happen. The only way you can move the government that through military coup or vote them out. And I'm not suggesting the first. I'm not suggesting.
That's a radical stand.
No. But I mean,
that's a radical stand.
Look, you coming around to what my previous argument. You coming around to it slowly.
Yeah, but let me clarify. I am saying there are two things, and there are two possibilities. Nobody can change it.
So
move them by force or vote them out. So I mean, there is not, because in democracy there's the two things.
I thought the South point on this side here, because that means we talk about democracy. There's no functional democracy. If you can't respect the rule of law, there's what's the functional democracy?
Yeah, you kick them out.
Yeah, what's the functional democracy? The old man has not respected any rule of law.
We are not suggesting that. What we are saying, I'm not being frank, and nobody can deny that.
You're going Liberia next year, isn't it?
I don't worry. I'm going there next year. I don't worry. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they should do military people. I'm saying the two things. The two things that can move the government. In a democratic, okay. Let me forget about Liberia, right? Since I'm on Liberia, let me forget about Liberia. But here is old man. Okay, let me turn now. Let me turn, so because we got to make things clear. Here is old man. What they probably in Uganda, Museveni, right? They probably been there all the time. They had election. They will send police. They flocked all the people. What can Mula be? The only thing that Mula Museveni is what, military coup or what? And he did it too. He came there through military coup. So the only thing that moving that through military coup or the 14. So
why are you saying? What are you saying?
That move any democratic government that is now working for the people is what, or our two things. You do coup, you move them by force, or you vote them out. But the voters are not willing, or they don't know what they're doing.
So what are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that we just wait until that term is over, because I don't know where you're driving at. Seriously speaking, the the people we know for
You
Dolly
were
last
laughing
I not swear because I am saying.
You know, Paul, the RG doesn't play. The guy waiting at the airport.
The guy is useless. So
They even know where I'm going. But the thing is, 2029 is right around the corner. And the voters should be able to know whether the government has promised. I mean, you cannot attempt to pack agenda. 6 items. ARREST. 6 agenda in your I mean, or 6 items on your agenda. You are not even accomplished anything, and you got 3 more years. So what do you do? So,
but Linford, I said on this program, one same thing I can say it with logic. This government came to power, they had no agenda to run, to be honest. So the government in chaos, in noise. So because they have nothing planned,
so how can we get rid of it?
And you suggested that come 2029, the people will move them, they will move them. You see? So
what do you want policy?
The new thing that happening, and they will remove Yeke Koruba. That will be another noise.
Careful with his statement. You know, Paul always in Liberia, so he's very careful with his statement. So you got to be careful.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, no. The government, my friend, don't mind that. My friend, but I always tell them.
But when we talk about military coup, we are not suggesting what I am saying is that
you say
no. As a politician, as a politician, you always use we. Okay, I am saying. But listen, there's no other way to move the government, either through election or through military coup. I mean, that's simple thing. Yeah?
No, now there's a third way. You know, it happened in Nepal, where when the citizen rise or the government ran away.
Impeachment?
No. You see what happened in Nepal?
Total uprising. Total uprising.
The government ran away.
That is violence.
They ran.
Bangladesh as well. It happened in Bangladesh as
well. Yeah. So
what you're suggesting that it should be a total uprising?
No, anything can happen.
For me, if people don't look, the legislature stealing from the people, the executive don't respect the laws. According to Prophet Key, the justice system is corrupt. So we in a complete mess. So,
no, let me tell you. You see, maybe it'll be very bad when people hear the word coup or uprising, but those are the means that you can get rid of for bad government. And these people know about it. These leaders know. So it's nothing strange. We are not suggesting it, but it can happen. Has it happened? Has it not happened in Liberia? A whole president was removed and killed. We grab the same president who killed the other president and kill him. So it's not strange. That's why leaders should learn lesson. Instead of repeating the same thing, you don't know what will happen. Anybody, these people can get, the citizens can rise up. Yes, students demonstrating, workers demonstrating. Anybody can get crazy and wake up.
Do you know how many of them were people today? They are beyond bar right now.
Let's wrap up, gentlemen. Because the Liberian taking you get B Martin there taking tons of gold every minute, every second. The people have no man. Liberian, the solution is let's get good leaders and let political party structure that party to be the more hard structure. It may not be based on one person.
Yes.
For me, to close on this whole leadership thing, our leaders, listen, when we elect you to be the head for us. So do the right thing. If you don't do the right thing, my friend, let me tell you, there's no compromise. Anything can happen. Anything. We can vote you out.
See what you are.
We can vote you out.
That's what I'm saying. Anything can happen. See what you are.
Yeah, anything can happen. I mean, anything can happen.
So
if you don't want to die, don't be
we've been here for 2 hours, 2 hours,
3 hours.
Nearly 3 hours. So let bring blessing to Liberia. I beg you, let bring blessing. Maybe the blessing will change the narrative of our people. We have the new Jesus Christ in town, and he's very linked with Liberia. So why can't we just ask him? So, gentlemen,
to come and bless the country.
Because we have the president is very close to the American president. Remember the story that he said the Liberian president speak good English, and this guy has not turned to Jesus Christ. So why can we ask for blessing? I just want your take on this. This is Donald Trump's own post. He posted this on X, and in less than a few minutes, when the people started, he took it down. Donald Trump is claiming to be Jesus Christ here, healing people. And Liberia is in a complete mess, my people.
I keep that post up. I keep the post up, please.
Okay.
Yeah,
I want to pick out the surrounding. In fact, it's his own work. So there's no. So in the midst of Jesus Christ, there's no black people.
No black.
Okay.
So you see the military, you see the flag, you see the Statue of Liberty, and you see people descending to heaven, and he healing people.
No Asian, no blacks.
No.
So, you see the.
All right. I just want to pick that up.
I've been watching and following every social media and every post almost, and I'm beginning to think, to wonder, why do people play with God issue? And then when I talk, then people say I'm an atheist. I'm not an atheist. I believe that God is personal. God is in me. You see, if you think if God was really real, he's sitting there somewhere, then some people will be playing fun with him like this. So what? I don't understand this God. This God is supposed to be all knowing, all powerful. Then you can have men like Trump doing the kind of thing. When you talk about blasphemy, this is it. Because if you pretend to be God, you pretend to be something that you are not. In fact, he's been picking some nuts with the Pope. And then I see Christians coming and saying, oh, the Pope is not God. So Trump get it right to provoke the Pope. And if the Pope had thought something good about Trump, he will be the best Pope on earth. But because he and Trump got issue, and the people who follow Trump, they say the Pope is not God. So if you don't respect the higher representation of God on earth, then who you respect? Okay, because you are not seeing God. Jesus Christ, according to the Bible, was the higher representation of God on earth. And then after him, the Pope. Or you didn't see Jesus. At least you see the Pope, but you didn't respect him. You say he's not God. So who you respect now? That Trump you respect. So that's why we're taking break.
Jema and Padole.
I'm taking break now.
Jema and Padole.
Yeah, listen.
What you see about the deranged guy? This guy. I mean, I like this guy.
Yeah, let me.
I just want to say a few words because I gotta go to bed now. Please.
Okay, go on, Mr. Dolly.
Yeah. To be honest, this man is bringing disgrace to America every single day. God sent.
Well, so American not real, I see it.
No, many of the Americans have becoming to know it. Even not the American, the entire world is becoming to know it. That they may got some mental problem. Even those that he support physically or morally, when they go for election these days, they are not even winning. One it just happened right here to Ongore. You understand? Peter was, I don't know, the guy who was in a European country. So basically, Trump is Hungary. Trump is getting confused, more especially the word that he just created on himself. He getting crazy every day, getting confused every day about it. You don't even know what he's doing. And then people are getting to disassociate themselves with him. So that's what I can say. The man, I'm going to bed, fellow. That man.
Okay, thank you so much. I hope to see you on Friday.
So, all right, I'll see you guys Friday, please.
Jema, Please
Yeah,
talk to me.
yeah,
This
question.
guy, Jamal, hold on. I just want you to lay it out. This guy told the world he obliterated the whole of Iranian nuclear site and everything. He destroyed their army. He bombed everything that they then the next thing was he got rid of their navy, so they were not importing anymore. Then he set up a peace talk. Then later on, peace talk failed. Then he said, "Oh, the Iranian blocked the Strait of Hormuz." He went by and said, "Oh, because the peace talk failed, he decided to block it too." So, and now he having beef with the Pope. The next thing he pretend to be Jesus Christ. My brother, what's wrong with this guy? Just talk to me. How you see this guy? Is he something? Is he normal or what?
You know, Trump is normal, Paul.
Yeah,
What
he's
the problem
normal.
is, he's normal. You know, the thing is, they need the MAGA, the Make America Great Again, running into his head. And they gave him the right to say there are few powerful people in America, the lobbyists and other people, American powerful groups, the elite group, they are giving too much of support. They're making fees, the Omega, the Alpha and Omega. So without going to your head, you can do anything. We all know very well the war against Iran was unjustifiable. So you should have not taken that war. Why in the meeting you start hitting them? So nobody condemn him. He still got support from within his inside. So he believes that what he does, that you in your lifetime, there's no American president has acted like this for this kind of way they're doing things. All the we play on this platform. Past presidents spoke about taking war against Iran, but none did that. They were just playing rhetorics. Now he took it, and when he promised, he let on the matter that he would take America out of wars. He would change things. He would focus on America instead of focus on the world, outside world. So the story changed around. So what his surrounding is supporting him to a level that gave him that lift, that courage to say that he's a mean guy. What he does is the right thing. So that pushing to a level that, in a theological standpoint, is total blasphemy. In depicting yourself as Jesus Christ. I mean, he was condemned and he immediately took it down. This is a guy, apart from that, there was on his own post. He posted something like he made Obama and wife look like a monkeys. You saw that.
Yeah.
So he does anything he wants to do. So if he say anything, so the guy is not normal, it's not conventional politicians, but he does this deliberately. So that's his Paul. He's a guy who like to be in the news, celebrity president. When you say you are fired without a printed stuff he brought in when he came out to UK, this is kind of person he likes. He likes to be in the news. He will do something tomorrow to get the attention. This is Trump. So Trump is not sick. It's the character he is. He's that person that always like to do that. So he's not sick. But what happened to him is like after his descent from the job as a president, then he's going to feel the pain. For now, he has the ultimate power to do what he likes to do. But what he's doing right now, I think the Christian world came against him big time, and you saw that. They've been fighting. All along the Vatican has been, whether it's not on a religious ground, Vatican always speak against human rights. They spoke about the fight in Gaza, the fight in Iran. That's what they've been doing. All the popes have been standing all with transparent the decision. And if you take, and that pope is from the US, is American citizen.
Yeah.
And he's fighting against him, and that's the guy doesn't listen to him. And when you fight against Pope, that's the last fight you will fight. I mean, he's one of the respected faker in the world. And if you can take it up against it, now the fight is going to now he's fighting a losing battle. But what I want to let you know, Pope is not sick. He does this deliberately to get attention. He's a celebrity president. He likes to do attention. He likes to cause, he likes it. And he likes to use his power. He flexes his muscles to show to the world that nobody challenges him. And you told us one time, I believe, he's going to say one day the war is over, even he wins or not. And this is a decision. So Trump will keep doing this until he leaves. Every day you see new thing out of Trump. He's not going to stop. That's Trump. If you don't know him for the past, he became president up to president. He'll be doing always something extraordinary. You will know that this is not a president should do.
Yeah. Linford, before we close on the note, we predicted on this platform that maybe the empire of the great United States is about to fall. We noticed that the allies decided not to join him in his crazy behavior. Then he called, when he closed, he decided to close the strip of Hormuz too. And so somebody closed it and he decided to close it again. And he asked the allies to join. Do you think now Iran is charging people in Yem, not Yem say, or the Chinese money, or the cryptocurrency?
Is a Chinese yuan.
Yeah. So what happened? The superpower is about to crumble. Is that what we're heading? Because we've been sinking so on this based on this guy.
America is not crumbling. America is not crumbling anytime now, but it's a gradual process. You see, let me tell you, even the life we live, when you begin to age, it's a gradual process. I mean, no, without accidental death or whatever, it's a gradual process. You used to run, but this time when you're walking, you're breathing fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. You used to sit long, but this time when you sit down small, your back hurting. So it's a gradual process. Who knows that the great America that everybody thought was this giant of earth, that they get the greatest military will go to war with another superpower to fight against Iran. And when we talk about closing, everybody thought that this would be 2 days operation.
Yeah.
And that's why I met some people online. We arguing, and they still believe that America is this extraordinary. No, America has done all it could. Nothing more. What do you expect them to do? They brought the B-52. They brought everything. They brought warship. They brought 3 warships. So what they going to bring again? It's a nuclear weapon. That all they have nothing to get now. You see? So it will fall, but not now. And the good thing is that we're not praying for America to fall, but the good thing is that Donald Trump is not king of America to say you'll be there forever and ever. Trump is going to leave. And when Trump leaves, the onus is on the next president of America to put the country back on a good trajectory or continue the path of Trump. Because Trump is a spoiler for me, in my own opinion. Trump has been the spoiler for the American economy, the morale of America. I mean, listen, you know that Russia, China, even the little rocket man can look at America and laugh, you know. I mean, this is the country everybody was afraid of, that you will go to war for complete 2 months with another, you are not alone, but you're fighting Israel for complete 2 months and stay, you don't do nothing. Then you even talking about, you are opting for the opening of the Hormuz Strait, and then you closing it. What sense does that make? You cry.
He opened it, he closed it, and then he asked people to help.
Yeah. So it's not going to fall now. It will fall. It may fall. Every great empire can fall. It may fall, but it's going to be gradual. Maybe this is the start.
Yeah, you're right. Anyway, that close up, man. That close.
So I think we're going to be wrapping up on this note. For those of you who join us tonight, Samuel or Samuka S. Samuka Dolly, Mohammed Sese, Mike P. Seyui, Nathan Chie, Junior Colley, and our regular participants are talking about Efanso Tele, go, and the rest of you guys, Chadano Chilupe, Brown Chilupe, and the rest of all of you that join us today, want to say thank you. Be here on Friday. We're going to have another interesting discussion, but in the meantime, right after Friday, you can jump on the Lord Chilupe. So we're going to leave you with this one here. It has not come yet, but it's going to be coming for sure. So prepare your stories.
Welcome to Your Story, hosted by Francis Mano-Mensah. Join us each episode as we dive deep into the lives of inspiring guests, exploring the challenges and successes that have shaped their journeys. Discover their unique experiences, insights, and the powerful stories that define them. Tune in and be inspired. Coming soon on The Bottom Line Liberia.
Why?
Well, on that note, we want to say thank you very much, and Paul and the rest of the guys. We hope to be here on Friday. It was a good show, and everything we say here was our opinion, but they are not fights or they are not false either. And we hope that we can have good country where our leaders will pay attention to the needs of the people, and then we all can live in peace. Because happy people, happy country, happy leader. Thanks, and this is our little close. Pause. Anything?
No, thanks and good night to our audience and have a blessed evening.